Alice is just going absolutely ham, and I'm gonna play some stuff because it's quiet. I will play the Starship and Bridge music.
I am
Not
ham.
music,
How nice of you to notice. I am a
I could go.
finely roasted ham.
I could go for some ham right now. Anyway,
I
it's
can't
us.
eat ham. It
We're
makes me
here.
sick. Don't eat me.
It makes me gassy. Anyway, we are here playing Stars Without Number with the crew of the Gloved Molotov. Everybody is present and correct except Nick, who when last we heard had 7 lasagnas in between him and freedom.
Oh, good lord.
That just sounds like he's really hungry.
Context, that's great. Don't
Yeah,
give
he's
context
got
for that,
an
please.
eating contest, and he can't come home until he finishes.
That is the lack of context I will be using on purpose because it's funny. But he will be joining us as soon as he is able, and in the meantime, I expect he is going to be focusing primarily on, or Dimitri is going to be focusing primarily on flying the ship and fixing it, because you guys never actually successfully fully repaired the Milan. It's partially repaired, but it's not all the way. You got a bit interrupted by some shenanigans, which I will get into.
Problems.
When last we saw the party, the Gloved Molotov, they had been in quite a pickle, quite a fracas, quite a tussle. Where's my thesaurus? Anyway, upon some rather grisly combat, Darius and Loki were successfully subdued and placed into a coma by the still Super Saiyan Dr. Charles. And though they were subdued, the party still feared for their lives, with the planet beneath them of Papadias still being ruled by the AI DOTAC. Using the assistance of Dimitri and Molly, they probed into the minds of Darius and Loki and learned that even in their subconscious, they were still just as beholden to DOTAC as when they were awake. As the interrogations were beginning to conclude, Dr. Charles's dose of regalia ran out, and it became apparent that the sheer amount of force he was channeling through his various limbs to fly and punch holes in spaceships had shattered both his arms, both his legs, and some other connected tissues. And somehow the sheer quantity of regalia meant that his telekinesis was just passively holding his body together while he was just on this drugged up high. But the drugs wore off, and now he feels profoundly miserable and has been placed in a coma. But this time, it was voluntary. So, that's something.
Thanks.
Once Dr. Charles was comatose and with Darius and Loki also predisposed, strapped to hospital beds, it fell to Catalina and Dimitri to figure out exactly what to do next. And Catalina made a very ballsy decision. She saw fit to leave the Milan and have Tazi fly her down to Papadias for a face-to-face confrontation with DOTAC. After another harrowing conversation, much like the one I had previously, she rolled breathtakingly well on a persuasion check and managed to convince DOTAC to free both Darius and Loki before making any deals with him. The agreement she made was to take a shuttle capable of installing cyberware inside people's heads remotely and take it with her to Yakuta and use it to assert their will upon the populace. The shuttle, seemingly capable of flying autonomously, ferried Catalina back up to the Milan, where an exchange was had between Loki and Darius, which included the sharing of some memories, thanks to the now repurposed cyberware that resides in your heads thanks to DOTAC. And I think that is where we are now. The crew are making their way towards the edge of the system, hoping to get towards Yakuta. And I believe there's a lot of conversing that needs to be done. So, everybody, what would you like to do?
Remain in a coma.
Yes,
Do you want to? Okay.
Get
that is
Um,
going to be.
I've had
occurring.
all of my limbs broken. The
That's no
pain
problem.
itself would be excruciating. Yes, I'd rather remain in a coma for now.
I'm gonna start repairing Primal.
Catalina's gonna help start repairing the ship in any way she can.
Okay.
Oh, I think I've got a.
Although she does need a bit of rest at some point.
Just for the core, I think it's. Give me a tick.
To repair the core is like 900 credits. To repair everything else, that's a
Repairing
different-
everything else is out of possibility, but the core is cheap enough to repair.
I think.
Okay, so it'll take half an hour and 400 credits, which is
Yes.
fine.
He only fell down below, like 2 hit points below, so he's okay.
Yeah, okay. Well, I will spend that half an hour repairing him.
Okay, I am moving us over to the map of the Milan on all decks, and we'll drag the party around. Dimitri would be on deck 2 as he is flying the ship. Lockie, where would you be?
I don't believe I was ever actually woken up. I don't recall.
I think
Nope.
you were.
You were,
There was the-
remember? You had this.
Oh yeah, because we
Ah,
tested whether you were you again.
Yes, I remember the test. I just didn't remember if I had actually been woken up after said test. That's right. He would probably
Shit.
probably bumming around in his room, away from everyone.
Here's a question that we actually have never explored properly before. Whose room is whose? Because
Good question.
if I will direct your attention to the deck on the bottom left of this like all decks map, the the forward portion of deck 2 nearest to the bridge is fitted out with luxury cabins, which contains like nice double beds. There's a proper kitchen and dining room, and then opposite that down below is like an all-purpose entertainment center with big comfy couches and big hall projectors and things like that to just chill and hang out. So, since actually expressing interest in a room, you get first dibs.
Yeah. I don't think I can actually see that deck, by the way.
You can.
Bottom left. Just scroll.
Bottom
Yeah.
left.
It's a very
Zoom
big
out.
map. It's bottom left. Yeah.
Oh, yes. Sorry. He'd probably go for one closer to the back. So
Okay.
we'll go with the bottom left.
Okay. Cool. Oh heck! No, it's done it again. Heckin' roll 20. Come on. I sometimes have technical difficulties with the large maps, which sucks. It's okay. So you are there. Who have I missed?
No one.
Or has everybody spoken for?
What do you mean?
In terms of
We're all on the map.
what in terms of what people are doing. I need to actually close this and start it again. Damn
We
it.
don't know what Pim's doing. Pim, what
So Darius, where would you be completing your work?
In
To-
my room, probably.
Okay. Well then, well I'd say it's a big ship, but with people moving around, you would likely hear the recommencement of banging and clanging coming from inside the workshop. and the sound of 7 sets of feet walking about doing various things. Okay.
Yeah, so no, I mean bedroom, not workshop.
Yeah. So Pim is in the workshop.
Oh, okay.
You and Primal are going to the sleeping quarters. You probably would have, at the very least, passed by the workshop to collect equipment for doing this work. So you would see him beginning to recommence his conveyor belt construction process with the many echoes he's manufacturing. And since you're also expressing interest in quarters, please choose yours.
Darius would not take one with a door to the corridor, so he'd take either this one or one of the ones on the left. Probably this one, because it's at the front and doesn't have a corridor door.
Okay, fair enough. Since can I do this? Is it on the map player? Yes. I put little colored cubes in the rooms with you guys, and so now I'm just going to change the colored cubes to correspond to your auras to make it easy to put you guys back in your rooms later. Because believe it or not, I feel like you guys changed rooms multiple times while on the Gloved Molotov, because I couldn't remember where your individual rooms were. So there we go.
Yeah, that happened.
Whatever.
Yeah, it's all good. So you've been in this arduous, dangerous ordeal, and the first thing you guys all do is you're like, okay, I guess we'll go and work on the ship some more and just scatter. Okay, fair enough. Dimitri, as the pilot, can get a ship of this caliber to the edge of the system in a day because of its size and the power of its spike drive. And Tazi is currently posted on the Gloved Molotov, flying it solo, and she will be slower because of its smaller spike drive.
I feel like we wouldn't leave her by herself on the ship. That'd just be lonely, considering aren't these month-long trips?
If you guys
out into the system so that we can actually make a spike drive jump. So before the jump, we can transfer people over.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it'll take you guys a day to get to the edge of the system, and then if you wait for Tazi, it'll be another day for her to catch up to your ship.
By the way, question: do I still have the Twitch Lock cybernetics not installed, or did Lockie actually use them when he did?
Lucky, you guys collected Twitch Lock actuators from that dead pilot.
Yeah, did you use them?
No, I bought my own.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I paid full price. I completely thought you had a pair.
Yeah, just checking, because I offered them to you, but that's fine.
Yeah.
Oh, good. So they would still be floating around somewhere.
Yep, cool. Just want
Okay.
to know if cleaning up inventory or not.
Yeah. So everybody has scattered and is going about their business. Dr. Charles. You're in a coma,
I am.
but you know what's great about being in a coma?
Nothing. It's
All
shit.
all the funky, crazy dreams you get. That's just spectacular. You get some times are had, and I'm going to elaborate on that
One day.
immediately.
I'd really rather you didn't.
Well, here's what's also great. It's not up to you.
Dagnamit.
You're in a coma.
So you are just kind of floating in the ethereal soup that is your brain, but then things kind of start to take more of a shape around you. You're kind of just aimlessly floating around going, wow, this is way better than all the pain I was feeling when I was awake. And then
Really, my brain goes, fuck this again.
then things just begin to like come into focus, and you realize that you're kind of drifting around the inside of the Milan. You're aware of your surroundings, and if you want, you can will yourself around the place if you want.
Different. So
You
am I in the room where my body is?
yes, you look down and you are just probably like at this point in the proceedings, you are like kind of like floating in the middle of the room, and you look down and you can see that Dr. Lucy is in the middle of installing a full body 3D printed cast onto you. You have some concerns about her technique, but that's not something you can really do much about. At least you don't think so. And so, that is where you are.
I'm gonna just sort of like float around my body for a moment,
Mm-hmm.
and just sort of like touch myself and like on the forehead and see, shut up, and see like if I can get any sort of corporeal feeling from it.
Okay. You kind of reach out, go to touch your forehead. Your fingers sink in a few centimeters, and you can feel it in your actual corporeal body that something is touching your forehead.
I'm going to then remove my fingers because that was weird.
Poke your brain.
Touch your own butt.
The appropriate response.
Is there a computer in the room? Like, is my data sled still there?
Yes. There would be a tray with your like effects and your clothes that have been set to one side.
I'm gonna try and turn the data slab on, so I can give, like, if I can type on it, I'm going to give the doctor some pointers on her castings.
Okay. You kind of reach out towards the slab. Your hand passes through it as you like reach out to like press the on button, and the screen comes to life, but it doesn't show what it normally would. It seems to show like kind of weird gargled static, and the static gets an immediate response from Dr. Lucy, who turns and seems immediately alarmed by this development.
That's not what I meant to do.
She walks over to the slab, passes through you, and basically just like picks it up and starts to examine it herself, and it's all like, what? And just like is going to like remove the power cell because she thinks it's malfunctioning and doesn't want it to bother her anymore.
Damn it. I know. I'm gonna float out the door. I'm gonna float up to the door and just sort of like press myself against it and see what happens.
You pass through the door and are floating beyond.
And I'm like gonna look at the wall in front of me and be, I start moving towards the wall in front of me to get into the supercomputer room.
As you float away, you look back and you see the door that you passed through is like kind of aggressively like closing and then opening and then like half opening and then like aggressively shuddering back and forth and just like having a very difficult time existing as a door.
Note to self. Electronics don't like this.
I don't
Yeah,
this.
but
Oh, you guys are so getting haunted, man.
but you're able to proceed forwards into the main computer room and see the glowing monolith that is the main supercomputer with pinned core installed inside.
I am going to walk over to one of the keyboards and see if I can sort of try to type anything. Like, say,
Okay.
hello, can you hear me?
Okay. Pim, your concentration is elsewhere. You're busily just like micromanaging your
I said
other selves.
previously that I would always leave one around too. That's how I knew Lockie was coming at the ship.
Of course.
Because I always leave one to pay attention to everything.
So most of you is preoccupied elsewhere, just doing things. And you're kind of just going dum-de-dum-de-dum with this one, kind of just like keeping your brain busy, and then all of a sudden you like the like command line like box that's available for like someone to interface with, the H key just is pressed and just keeps on being pressed, so it's just one big long line of the letter H followed by one big long line of the letter E. And it's very unusual because no one is there actually physically pressing these buttons.
I'm going to get one of my Pims to come to the room and fix broken keyboard.
Okay. So, Dr. Charles, you're having a hard time pressing these buttons.
I'm going to keep trying to attempt. I'm
Okay.
trying to refine. Actually, it probably won't work. As I'm like getting annoyed with how long the buttons are being pressed down when I'm like not actually pressing them that long, I know like instinctively just like reach out with telekinesis and try and type the message with telekinesis instead.
Okay. The keyboard explodes.
Well, that didn't work.
So you're busy getting frustrated, and like and Pim, you can perceive that the keyboard in like in front of you installed just kind of partially imploded and then just exploded outwards into a spray of shrapnel that hits all over the place.
Fire in the supercomputer room. Tazi, could you please help? There seems to be something wrong with the mechanical software.
You get a response from Tazi, which is, hello, Pim, I would love to, but I'm currently on the Gloved Molotov. I can't come and help you right now. I'm flying it.
Ah.
I'm sorry. Can you ask somebody else?
Let's just go with no.
Well, if there's anything I can help you with, let me know.
I will call you if that is the case.
Okay, bye. And she hangs up.
I'm gonna move to the next keyboard and start typing, like concentrating and typing. Sorry about that.
Okay. Make me a telekinesis roll, please. So roll a 2d6, add your wisdom and your telekinesis score.
Stop breaking my room.
8 on the dice.
Mm-hmm.
+1 +1, so 10 altogether.
Okay, you are able to get the number of applications of the keys per stroke down to like 10 characters. So as opposed to like a massive string of H's, it's just like a block of 10. By actively concentrating very hard and making sure you don't mess up too much.
So he types out, like, sorry about that.
Yeah, but it's like this one.
Yeah. So...
Dimitri. Paging Dimitri. What was that thing you said about something called the Holy Ghost?
Dimitri is not here.
Channeling the power of Dimitri, he will hail back and say, What do you mean, Holy Ghost? I'm flying a ship! Why do you keep calling all the pilots?
Jeez, never mind.
He's got a point.
He's also probably very drunk.
He's just gonna
He's probably drunk at this
like
point, yes.
end the call.
Okay.
At which point I'm going to be
Okay.
like, This is Charles. Help.
Do you want me to put you out of your misery?
No.
Well, that was a joke. What seems to be the problem, Charles?
So, Tim, on your end, this exchange is agonizing because every time you ask a question, it takes him a solid 1-2 minutes to actually fully type an answer.
Hold on a moment.
I'm going to get one of the Pims to come in and place down 24 different checker pieces, each with a different letter written on it.
Oh, well, you had already called for a Pim to show up, so at this point, the Pim has arrived, walked out the elevator, and just presents these pieces for you.
Move the ones that you are trying to type.
I don't know if this will work. I move one of the letters to see if it'll actually work first.
Okay. You reach out, poke one of the letters, and it just kind of floats up into the air and begins orbiting Pim's supercomputer.
I start
P.
typing. That's not going to work. And the whole time I'm typing, is that just continuing to float?
It's getting faster and faster.
Uh-oh.
Can you put it down, please?
No. Can you call Catalina, please?
By the time you've started saying Catalina, the checker piece is behaving like an air hockey puck and is just aggressively bouncing from every surface it can make contact with, and is just like,
I'm going to try and catch it.
Okay.
Try and contain it so it stops.
Okay.
Even when you're asleep, you're trashing the place.
Are you doing this bodily or trying to use telekinesis to catch it?
Bodily, because the last time I tried to use telekinesis, shit exploded.
Okay, so you float over. Make me science roll because that seems appropriate to you to try and predict its trajectory and move yourself to intercept, because that seems appropriate.
7.
Okay, I'd say after a few too many dents in the walls occur and a few failed attempts, you're able to reach out and run your hand through it. As it gets to about halfway through your hand, it too explodes, and there's just a spray of plastic and dust all over the place.
May I suggest you go to a room that isn't a center computer for the entirety of the ship?
I just start typing, you were the closest room. I don't know what's going on.
Well,
Neither do I, but I do know if you stay here, it's going to be dangerous. Go to Catalina's room.
Yeah, blow up her shit.
At that point, I'm just stuff it, and I start floating towards the workshop to see if Catalina's there.
She's
are
probably
you
dead.
taking? Are you taking?
Attention,
are you
Milan.
just
Attention, Milan. It seems that Dr. Charles Barker is astral projecting himself and making a mess of things. If things start going strangely wrong, don't worry. It is just him trying to figure out... Well, I don't know the word for that.
So, Dr. Charles, are you getting to the workshop via things like the elevator, or are you just floating directly down through the floor 2 decks to get to where you want to go?
I'd sort of probably just float through the floor, but I'd stop at the floor for a moment and just sort of bend down and start putting my finger through it first and just being
Yeah.
It explodes.
I guess I have no choice, and then just sort of straight
Yep.
through the floor.
You float down, and Pim, immediately you experience a minor power failure to your core, and like as the cables that run through the floor that Dr. Charles just used to get from place to place are disrupted by his presence. So I'd say that 2 of the available 15 of you go offline because of the power loss caused by his disruption.
Is it possible to sedate a spirit?
So you float on down to deck 2. Directly down is just regular floors. Both Lockie and Darius would likely note that the lights that are in both of your rooms, since you're both in your rooms on deck 2, the interior lights kind of flicker and struggle for a moment as somebody passes through the floor next to you, and then things kind of come back online after a few moments of issues. And Pim, your other selves would come back online after a bit, just a temporary disturbance, and then you pass on through into the workshop where 7 Pims are building 3 more Pims.
Catalina's probably also in the workshop.
Yes. What are you doing in the workshop?
I'm trying to remember what she was. She's actually probably looking up and sketching out some designs for some cybernetic eyes for herself, based on the ones that Lockie has, but maybe a little bit more customized to her. What she was essentially looking for and requested from Papadias, but didn't get.
Because things hit the fan.
Yes.
So, Dr. Charles, you float on down, see Catalina like on a data slab, kind of sketching away with a pencil tool, and
Trying to figure out what resources I'd need to make it, or if
So the
parts
lights
I can't
dim
do.
as I entered the room.
yes,
Because
they
I
kind
like
of
to make a dramatic entrance.
the lights kind of like struggle and flicker.
And I'm just sort of like, my instant reaction is to sort of like, I wonder if I can write on the screen, and then realizing what has happened to all the electronics that I've touched beforehand, and I'm like, no, if I destroy a data slab, she'll kill me.
At the flickering of the lights, Catalina says out loud, "Doctor, if you destroy my tablet, I will kill you." She doesn't know you're there, she just assumes.
I need something to write on.
Something that won't explode. In this century, good luck.
Really?
A
Like there
Ouija
wouldn't be
board.
pen and paper?
Ouija board. Not really, no.
Not
No,
but
because I blew up a checkers piece. So
fair.
I don't know.
A
what to
Ouija
do.
board in a box.
Everything I touch breaks. It's almost like you self-inserted a roleplay mechanism of when you're on the come down from regalia, your mind causes untold chaos and destruction all around you, and
Hey.
I'm providing a framework and mechanics for that to play out.
Bit better than me shaking the fucking ship apart.
I give it
After
time.
3 doses.
Potentially.
I just could be like, I have no way of communicating. This is.
Perhaps a light bulb. Does anyone know Morse code?
Does Catalina know Morse code?
Should roll me a profession.
And I feel like Lockie would probably know Morse code.
Thinking
Actually.
about it, so would Pim being a migration manager.
I mean, really, if we want to think about it, no one would know Morse code, and not only that, the last recorded use of Morse code would have been many millennia ago.
Okay, fine. Fine.
Space Morse code.
Yeah, but I
Space
feel like
Morse.
there would be an equivalent
The reason Morse code was
Modified.
used was not because it was a good code. It was used because it couldn't because you couldn't transmit much information.
Hmm.
That's no longer a problem in space.
Well,
It
I
was just a
failed
whole
anyway.
bunch of
You say that, but it is currently a problem in space.
Touche.
Not if they've gotten to this point.
That's true. So you don't think you know Morse code? It hasn't come up.
I'm just gonna
Go sit in the corner.
as he says that, I'm gonna just float over to like one of the doors and just put my fist through it and pull it back out again to see what it does.
It freaks out. It does the whole like.
I'm going to presume that's the doctor. Can you please stop ruining things? I just got to fixing a good portion of this ship. I don't want the workshop broken again. Catalina also puts down the tablet because she can't concentrate anymore. Her
There's a ghost in the
Does
room.
anyone have any alphabet spaghetti?
Is any of this over comms?
Yes.
Pim's
Pim
over
did
com.
make. Yeah, Pim made an announcement, which was Dr. Charles is haunting the place.
Yeah, Lockie ain't none of that.
You don't get complain. You're just like, no.
If
Oh, do I
anything-
go fuck with Lockie?
if anything, Lockie has locked his door, not understanding that that won't stop a ghost.
Charles just comes through the wall. Hey, kid, want to see a dead body?
Like, because there's no way to communicate, I'm just gonna be like, and I'm gonna float back up, trying to avoid like the main arteries where they would run power, like major power cables, to try and get back
Sure.
up to the server room.
Roll me tech astronautic, please.
You're going to the server room.
Or the supercomputer room again.
You're going to the supercomputer.
See absolutely nothing wrong.
Where is it? Tech astronautic.
With
That would
intelligence.
be a 5.
Okay.
I hit all of the systems.
You do unfortunately pass through. I'd say the most important thing you pass through is one of the fuel lines. So the ship itself kind of splutters and loses forward power for a few seconds, but then carries on going.
Oh dear.
And yes,
Charles.
more lights do flicker and stuff.
Charles, you know me. I rarely do things like swear, but I feel that this is the perfect opportunity to say get the fuck out of the computer.
I start typing, no, this is the only place I can currently communicate.
It's also
get
the only place you can destroy.
just to circle back, you get to the O part of NO, and there is all of a sudden a finger-shaped crater where the O key was.
Get out, please. Very well. I'm going to send one of my PIMs to the medical bay and just start trashing the place.
Try it. Actually, he can't hear me, so I'm like, cool.
Oh no! You mean arms race of making a mess?
No, I wonder what would happen if I was to put my hand in the chest of a PIM bot. It makes computers go, like doors go nuts.
I can't hear any of this.
You
Pim
can't.
is going to assume that he's left.
Yeah, because nothing else is happening. It's gone quiet. not tapping anymore. Nothing's flying around.
The thing is, I'm
Apologies
just going
for
to
the
stand there in
lack
front of the
in
computer
depth
for a bit,
building.
just trying to think of what to do. And I'm like,
Okay, while you're pondering that, let's move it away from you just kind of like floating around and wrecking the place. Lockie,
Yes.
I know you did lock the door, but
Yes.
You would hear the sound of somebody outside knocking on it.
Oh dear. Well, a knock is less spectral, so he
Yeah.
will go open up and have a look, see who's there.
Who is there is Lucia, and she looks very like crestfallen and reserved, like not her usual boisterous confidence self at all.
Okay.
She says, "Hello, Loki. I come to make sorry for shooting you."
Out of curiosity, I would remember all of that, wouldn't I?
Oh yeah.
Look, I wasn't in my right mind. You did the right thing. No harm, no foul.
I mean, you did shoot first, but I did not know you were not you, so...
I did, and for that I am sorry.
Okay. We good?
Yeah, I think we're good.
Okay. You want to play some basketball, or are you scared about the ghost?
He's just gonna think for a moment. I think for the moment I just need some time.
Okay. I will be in gym if you want to talk.
Just gonna
She just
nod.
turns and walks away. Okay. Have you had any other ponderings, Dr. Charles, on what the hell you're going to do about your situation?
not quite yet.
Just like,
So
oh,
I'm probably going to go for a wonder. So I'd probably head to the biggest, emptiest space I know, which is the cargo bay. But I'd sort of walk, like I'd absent-mindedly walk through the door to the computer room just because. And I'd walk up to the elevator and I'd just sort of be like, and I'd try to like press the button.
okay. You reach out, press the button, your finger goes through it and leaves another finger-shaped crater, larger this time.
Fucking.
You just hear a collective sigh across the ship. Just
Like,
uh
15 pims just going, oh my god.
After doing repairs on a VI is probably pretty delicate to power supplies and shit like that. And having the power flicker like that, like 14 times, Darius is just going to start swearing and get up and start walking towards the cargo bay.
At which point, seeing as I can't summon the elevator, I'm just going to be like, fuck it. And standing right in front of the elevator, sink through the floors until I get to the cargo bay because I'm like, I need space. I need space where I can walk.
Okay. You float on down, there's more internal power fluctuations, and as you make it down to deck 3, you look up and you swear that the surface you just passed through is a little bit distorted by your passing through it. Like the ceiling is a bit warped where you passed through.
Rory.
Yes?
Actually, no, it's alright. I'll send you a message.
He'd probably just keep going until he gets to the cargo bay because he needs to be able to just walk around or float around and like think.
You get down there just fine, but do cause a bit of damage on the way, and now you have the like many hundreds of tons of cargo space, mostly empty, available to just float around.
So yeah, I'm just going to be like floating around, just sort of like trying to think of like learning at the Psychic Academy and whether or not he'd heard of anything like this before, and going through everything, just going like, how do I even try to fix this?
Do you have culture Alfdis?
I do.
Okay, go ahead and make a culture Alfdis roll, please.
That is an 11.
Oh.
A 5 and a 6. So glad I changed dice.
Mm-hmm.
Using a different set before, so.
Something like this. What are the psychic schools? You've got telekinesis, telepathy, precognition,
Metasonics.
metasonics, biosonics, and teleportation. Nothing is really quite quite lines up with what this is. The nearest equivalent to what you are experiencing is something akin to maybe a kind of mind reading where you go into someone's memories and can walk around and examine things. You don't really know what this is. You probably haven't read about or heard anything in your like very former, proper, uptight education about exactly what this is.
I'm gonna keep circling the cargo bay, just trying to think to myself on, like, trying to like go through what I know about like psychics and everything I know, and then trying to like match it all together to try and figure out how this has happened, which I'm imagining is Regalia to start with, and then going through and just being like, how do I fix this without blowing up the ship?
Just thinking to yourself, I'd say at this point, Darius, you also make it down to the workshop, and can like the dust on the floor kind of dancing around, like there's a trail being made in the dust.
Cargo bay, not workshop.
No, I believe Darius said he was going to the cargo bay, didn't you? Or was it workshop?
Yeah, I said cargo bay.
You said workshop.
I did? Wow, brain fart. Anyway.
I would have gone to the workshop, but Pim's there.
Yes.
Oh.
I'm just going to spot all that and go, right, either the air systems are fucked or that's Charles, right?
Right.
Yeah, okay. Whatever. Hey, am I aware of the ship in storage in the cargo bay?
I don't believe Catalina has discussed it with you yet. Or has she?
Nope.
Did you?
I don't. Actually, they would know it's there because I came in on it.
Yes.
However, I did absolutely lock it up and, like, yeah.
And Pim is watching you.
Yeah. And I'm pretty
Right.
sure I told Pim to lock it up and not allow anyone in until we'd had a chance to chat.
That was one of the moments I portrayed Pim, and I think I made a silly remark about it, but yeah, it's been locked down by the power of Pym.
Right. Well, having known that it's there, Darius is not going to give two shits about that, and he's going to immediately head to it.
So you are done trying to fix Primal for now because Dr. Charles is being difficult for reasons that he can't control. So you ride the elevator back up 2 decks and make your way towards the rear fighter bay on the back of the ship. You would, I assume, Pym would be. I mean, considering the fact that Pym was asked to lock it down, any attempt to try and interface with the door would likely prompt Pym's attention.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. So you're there, like pressing the open button, I suppose, and Pym, you get a ping that someone's trying to get into the fighter bay.
Is something the matter, Darius?
Hey, Pym. Yeah, I was going to go check out that ship.
I was asked by Catalina not to let you do that.
What? Why?
Take it up with her.
Yeah, alright, fuck that, no. I'm going to hack the door.
Okay.
Does Pym let Catalina know?
Pym informs everyone, and the 7 or 8 Pyms that are completed are now heading towards that bay.
Okay. So Catalina, you see 7 Pyms immediately drop tools and march in unison towards the elevator and all pile inside. So if you
actually, question: do I know its function? Because if I don't, I wouldn't be heading in there.
That's a good point, Catalina. Do you know its function?
What?
Oh, did you tell Darius the function of the shuttle?
Nope. I told no one.
Sorry. Retcon that. I wouldn't be heading near it. I'd just go.
No, I didn't say what the shuttle did. I said that. No, I take it back. I did mention it. But I didn't say exactly what it said. What did I say? I said.
If it can, do I know that it can install cyberware?
Yes.
In that case, I go for it.
Okay. Unretcon. There's Pym on the way, and
because she did say that.
And are you, Pym, going to try and oppose the hack?
Do you also let Catalina know that this is happening?
Yes,
I let
said
Catalina
that. Yeah,
know.
everyone.
Okay, so
everyone gets informed.
So Catalina, if you want, you can pilot into the elevator with the 7 Pyms and ride up.
Yes.
With
Going
them.
up.
And both Pym and Darius have to make opposed computer rolls to see who is going to come out.
Roll for me, Alice.
Alice, 3d6.
Okay.
That's 2d6.
Okay.
So
this is for Pym. Oh no, Chris. Sorry, because it's 3D dice.
Okay. Ooh, 7.
5 and 2.
I'm actually going to roll again.
You want me to roll again? Okay.
Yep.
Use your ability to get beyond a 7.
It's worse.
Ooh, what's that?
Sorry.
You have to take.
This is not good.
What is it? No, 5. It's a 9.
Okay, and then for
Okay.
Pym. Oh! Fucking Jesus,
Up
man.
with your dice.
Oh, Alice. Okay, so
Ash, you need to come here and take your dice back and decurse them.
Yeah, whatever. It makes sense because Darius is on 5 health and in pretty shit shape, so it's not his best work.
but you are still able to open the door.
You still win the roll, the contested roll.
Yeah.
No, okay. I just walk in, go and...
That's what I'm saying, my rolling was shit.
So is there Sorry.
The craft itself is a deep blue color with accents of teal. It's a bit like boxy and chunky and a bit weird looking, but it's basically being cradled in place by the docking bay and is just being supported there. There is an available door to the side that is assumedly there to have people enter and exit from. And it seems as though the pilot enters not through the side door, but by the entire cockpit sliding down. So if people were to be rushing to the shuttle, the seat can just drop out. You can sit in the seat, and then the entire seat just slides up and places you in the cockpit.
Where on the ship is
I'm-
this? Because people have not moved.
I'm just going to try and connect to it. I assume it's got some sort of open comm channel.
Interesting. So just trying to.
It's not
connect
on
to the
though,
ship.
so any channels like that would be currently non-active.
So you're basically trying to ping it as if to say turn on, which is functionality that it would have. So yeah, roll me a computer's roll, please.
Does this happen before any of us get there?
Well, he
I
was
mean,
there
I can do this every 6 seconds.
So he was there, and then you were notified. He will be able to. Oh, the scale's super off. Well, I mean, it's like if you're beating feet straight there, he has 3 attempts before you guys are in the room with him.
Yeah, LSU roll. I don't have my dice, so just keep rolling. for me.
I was gonna say Catalina would basically shoot him with a stun gun before.
I'm just over
He
the
gets to
comms. I'm actually telling you, hey, I'm just going to check this thing out. I need cyberware removed, and this thing can do
Well,
it.
that's the best roll you could possibly have.
It
it's
should
3
have only been
sixes.
2, but that's
Well,
fine.
it's
I turn
3
it on.
sixes. It doesn't matter. They're all 6s.
Hey, you basically reach out with your mind and basically ask the ship to turn on.
You flick
does,
the compad and the whole thing just lights up.
Catalina is frantically yelling, "Don't touch it! Please, not yet! It's fine, you can touch it later, but please don't touch it yet. I need to talk to you all first. Please,
Why?
no!"
I need this shit out of my head.
And you know what? I will fucking kill you if you proceed to continue. And as soon as the elevator doors open, you see her aiming her gun at you.
Oh, well, there's at least one door in the way because there's a door here.
As soon as the doors open, there's a gun aiming at him.
Okay.
I
Okay.
can open up both. Like,
Really? Okay. So the doors just open up there. Your angle isn't great because there's like stacks of cold sleep pods in the direct line of the like your shot. So it's gonna take you a bit. But as the doors open and you're going to aim your shot, Darius, you get a response from the craft.
All the while, Catalina's just yelling at you to stop.
Yeah, like stop. It says to you, "Hello, Darius. Are you back for more already?"
Thought so. Hold that thought for a second. I sever the connection
Okay.
and turn around to Catalina and walk up and just put my hand on her gun and push it rather roughly because I look quite annoyed at this point.
I think she
you would not
ha-
have that opportunity to
Yeah.
walk up to her.
Yeah. So
No,
so
I
sh-
just,
yeah. So
I-
she has the chance to shoot at you before you get within melee range of her. So Catalina, please make an attack roll against Darius.
are you for real?
Yes.
She's shooting at you.
Yes.
The
Okay.
thing is, up until what, a couple of hours ago, if that, you were trying to kill us.
Yes.
So
Fair enough.
while we're not holding it against you,
Just so
we're
you're aware,
still sort of paranoid.
just so you're aware, I'm on 5 health, and if you take me down, I have 0 system strain. I
She's
die.
shooting you with a stun
stun
weapon.
gun.
It's a
I
stun.
won't heal though.
You
Doesn't
will
matter. You would.
Kill you. It can't.
It
kill
can't kill you.
after.
It's like a taser.
After a few hours of being unconscious, you basically wake up with all the health you had before you got hit by the weapon.
Fair enough.
It's just a stun
So,
gun.
so a 12 on the die. What's your armor class, Darius?
It's like.
isn't it like 4 or 7?
What are you wearing?
Yeah, I'd be wearing my standard military fatigue, so I wouldn't be wearing the vac suit anymore. So
Cool.
it's a 4.
What's your plus to hit, Catalina, with that weapon?
She's a warrior, so like 3.
It's +3. Is it an energy weapon?
Yes.
So that's exactly 20.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you have a plus to dexterity as well?
Yes.
So that's +5.
So I'm down then.
Well,
Depends how much damage it does.
To roll damage first. So it's a D10 damage from the.
Oh, I don't
Stun
have a
rifle.
D10 prepared. Let me just
That's
prepare
all
a
good.
trusty D10. Which D10 will be able to be seen on camera? This one is probably good. Only 2 damage.
Okay, so you.
Oh wait, hang on. Is there any pluses?
Wait, that's a D8.
It is a D8. My bad.
The math.
What the hell? Where did
It's been a
my
long
D10
day,
go?
Alice.
There
It's
it
all
is.
good.
That's a 9.
Okay. So Darius, you've severed this connection. Turned to Catalina with like anger on your face, and as soon as you go to leave the hangar
She
bay,
looks furious
just
as well,
like-
mind you.
But you literally see me walking out of the hangar bay as you shoot me.
That's
So
fine.
just so you're aware, this is like guaranteeing Darius leaves the group now.
You also just broke her trust by doing
How?
exactly
Hang
what
on,
she
hang on,
asked you
hang on.
not to.
You didn't even listen to him explain or talk
You
to him and
didn't-
ask him about what he's doing. He didn't agree, and you didn't ask him not to.
I did.
No,
so
you didn't.
She
took
did.
this shot, center mass, and Darius just collapses to the ground, kind of spasming unpleasantly.
Catalina said when she brought the ship on board, no one touch it until we get a chance to all talk together. And you did.
Okay, fine. But
And
that's
then-
not a decision he believes you should be able to make anyway.
Well, you don't know the situation.
But that's why he was checking and confirming something, and he confirmed it now.
That's fine. But you also broke her trust because
Yeah, all right.
Well, Pim,
you've
it-
crossed a
I'm
line with
unconscious.
Catalina, essentially.
You've seen this entire thing go down, because of course you have.
Don't you think that was a bit radical?
Okay, sorry, let me just get back to the moment because I got sidetracked. Probably. She puts the gun away and
Please
just,
return to the workshop.
and just carries carries Darius to the med bay.
Okay. You drop his body over your shoulder, carry him along, and at this point, I'd say Dr. Lucy is mostly done installing the full body cast on Dr. Charles. So the door you like go to pass through, kind of just like seems to be misbehaving just a little bit still as you pass through. So it takes a few tries to open fully, but you're able to just bring him inside and drop him onto the bed next to Dr. Charles. And Dr. Lucy just says, "What happened here?"
Catalina just sits in a chair or on the next bed over with her head in her hands, massaging it as she has the biggest migraine in the world right now. Just... I shot him. Just look after him. Just... It was bad.
Wait, is he bleeding out?
No, I just... Jesus Christ, what do you think of me? I am not murderous. It's
Can you
just-
please explain that you stunned them?
I shot him with stun weapon. It's just a bit of, shock.
Stunned. I've seen these before. I can give him something. It'll wake him up a bit sooner if you like.
Sure. He's going to.
Why did you stun him again?
Because I need to talk to everybody. Don't give it to him just yet. Pim, can you
Oh.
tell everybody to join us here? I was hoping to do this once Charles was back, but I'm just going to presume that he can hear us because he's doing some weird floaty shit.
Don't worry. I just relayed what you were saying to the rest of the crew. Though I doubt everyone was happy with the ending of your sentence.
At that point, I'm gonna float up to the med bay
Okay.
because I've been thinking, and I'm like, it seems like a form of like telepathy, like astral projection. So I'm gonna be like, I wonder if I can like communicate with a mind, but I didn't want to do it with anyone that was conscious. So I'm gonna go see if I can communicate with Darius.
That's a bad plan. He's got electronics in his brain, you dummy.
Okay.
You've literally just made craters in everything you've touched, and now you want to touch a person who's unconscious.
I'm not going to touch. I'm just going to focus.
That doesn't seem any
He's
safer.
gonna just sit there like Adrian Monk with his
Well,
hands in front
The
of
thing
your
is,
head. Like,
I can't touch anyone technically because you're all fucking wired up the wazoo.
Dimitri isn't.
Speaking of which, Dimitri
have
would
you
enter the
potentially
room.
tried communicating with Molly?
So at this point, Dimitri would enter the room. He looks pretty sloshed. Like that really nice bottle of vodka you gave him, Catalina, is mostly empty in his hand as he just kind of staggers in and plops his butt down on one of the beds.
Yeah, he was pretty cranky at me when I came in.
Mm-hmm.
Is Molly in the room?
Molly is on his shoulder, yes.
Okay, I'm gonna float over to Molly and just sort of be like, Molly, can you hear me? What was that? Whenever you do Molly's voice, your sound cuts out.
Well, she screams, panics, and runs out of the room as quickly as possible. Just like jumps off his shoulder and just runs away as fast as she can.
That would be a yes.
By the way, Catalina is also gonna stand up, grab her stun gun, put it in Darius's hand, and then sit back down.
Okay. Well,
She figures
Lockie,
she deserves it.
Lockie, are you joining them in the medbay or staying in your room?
Actually, no, she'll put it on his chest.
He is not joining.
Oh, okay then.
The toilet seat starts opening and closing. There is a meeting in Medbay, so says the toilet lord.
Toilet pranks, it's been a while.
All the crew would hear is a gunshot go off, and the toilet lid will have a new hole in it.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Now the poo scent will leak.
So you're staying out of it. Lucia would leave the gym and also probably join you guys in the med bay.
I will broadcast what you say to Lucky's room.
What do you mean? Is he not coming?
He just shot his toilet. For no reason.
That's not an answer to the question. That just seems like a separate thought.
I feel he's not in his right mind, assaulting toilets. By the way, Lockie can probably hear what he's saying too.
Well, yeah.
Oh, you're still broadcasting?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So at this point, Dr. Lucy has pulled out this weird-looking helmet and is sliding it in place onto Darius's head. It's just kind of unfolding a series of adhesive pads. It is undoing his shirt and is kind of lining them down his abdomen and arms, and just starts pressing buttons.
Wait.
And his body just begins to spasm a little bit.
Wait 1 minute.
It takes time to take full effect. So I'm just going to get it started.
Right. I'm going to... I will be back. And she just walks out and goes to Lockie's room and knocks on the door.
He'll pause for a moment, but eventually open. What's up?
Would you please join us? It's very important.
Yeah, alright.
And also, I think you all have the right to be there to judge me for what I have done.
What you've done.
Duh. Nobody blames you for what you've done. But you will all blame me for what I have done. Please come join us. And she just turns and walks back to the medbay.
At this point, I think it's more based on curiosity that he follows.
You're like, okay,
Morbid curiosity.
Yep.
what has she done?
And then back in the med bay, Catalina will stand next to Darius, hold the gun like from the hilt, so from the end, so the handle is facing Darius, so that when he wakes up, she can offer it to him, the stun gun.
Okay.
Because I presume she has to remove it off him so he can get healed. Like.
Yeah. So Darius, at this point, I'd say you would awake very unceremoniously with a splitting headache, with like a big, heavy helmet on your head with all these electrodes on your exposed chest, just being like, and you can respond to that however you like.
Catalina immediately is holding out the gun, saying, "I'm sorry."
Put that shit away. Fuck, what was that, Lucy? Better than a cup of coffee.
That was
I
not
brought
the
it-
answer I expected.
I brought it with me from Gunhill. I never expected I would actually need to use it, though.
Can I borrow that later?
We'll talk.
Thanks. Right. Okay. I turn
I'll hook you up.
to Catalina. Your next words better be, "We're about to destroy that ship."
I'm sorry, Darius. Not yet.
Okay. No. Here's what's going to happen. Me and Lockie recently had our brains taken over by a hostile AI.
Duh.
I find out that you tell me that you've brought something on board that has the ability to implant cyberware. I go down and check out to see exactly what it is and find out it's got a fragment of that AI in it, talking to me.
I suspected
You
this
were
was the
ordered
case.
Pim to protect the same AI that wanted to capture him and possibly integrate him.
Protect
then
is
you
not the
shoot
correct
me.
word.
And then you shoot me for attempting to ascertain what it is. Let me be really, really clear. Either the option is we get rid of that ship now, or I leave, or option 2 is you use it and I kill you.
Do you wish to know what happened?
No, not at all. I don't care. That thing is an abomination, and it does not stay on the ship with me.
Then you might as well kill me.
I spit on her feet, get up, and walk out of the room.
Catalina will stop him.
No, you won't.
No.
I will.
She'll grab his arm and just say, "You deserve
And
to
I will
judge me
punch you
like
in the
everyone
face
else."
The
She'll
moment
take
you
it.
grab my arm,
She'll
I
take
punch
it.
you in the face and keep walking.
She'll fucking
Oh.
take it.
Roll me 1d2, please.
She probably barely feels it, but you know.
I can't roll a d2. How do you
Oh,
do that?
Okay,
I can
Yeah.
help.
Roll a d6, please. Thanks.
Oh, I was gonna roll a d4 and half
See,
it.
the thing is
That
he was just investigating what it was. But the moment you shot him to stop him doing his own investigation, it's immediately like, no, there's nothing you can
It was a 2.
do
So.
now.
Okay, so if it was a 2, Catalina, you take a point of damage
Okay.
from being punched in the face if you don't want to like dodge out of the way, which it seems
She
like
won't.
you didn't.
She'll just take it.
So you just take it to the face, and Darius just
Let go of
storms
my
out.
arm now.
I want you to stay and judge me with everyone else.
I don't particularly care what you want. It doesn't matter anymore.
If you let me talk, I will let you do whatever you want. I just want you to hear me out.
Be quick. You've got 5 minutes.
And Darius?
I don't particularly care for what platitude you're about to say. Be quick. You've got 5 minutes. It's already started.
She kind of like rolls her eyes because she's not intimidated by Darius, but respects it nonetheless.
No, he's not trying to intimidate you. He's just telling you how much he's willing to listen. And after that, he's not listening anymore.
Fair enough. She just takes a big sigh, like a big breath. Okay. So? In the vested interest of the immediate protection of everyone, I made some terrible decisions and sacrifices.
Cut to the chase.
When I went down to see DOTAC, while you, she looks at Darius, and you, Lockie, were unconscious after we knocked you out from being in mind control. The only option we had was for someone to negotiate with DOTAC. Because the options were leave you as you were, kill you, give him what he wants, which was Pim, or someone else mediates and compromises. And the options of who could do this were very limited at this point. So it was me. And I went down there, and I made the decisions I thought were appropriate in the time.
Right, and what is the deal you reached?
I said to him I would keep my word to the best of my ability. I would make it happen. I said to him, if he returns you back to yourselves, I would talk to him about what he wants. He wants us, or me, to take that machine, that abomination, to Yakuta, and have someone of significant influence implanted with his device. And to leave Pim in charge. That is all I promised.
And at that, Darius hits you again and spits on your feet, and he's just cursing you out. He goes, what the fuck are you doing? Honestly, you should have just let me fucking die or left me there. You sold my goddamn soul.
I didn't sell your soul, I sold mine. You can do what you want. I saved you. If you want to leave...
You're right, I can do what I want, and I'm going to go destroy the machine now. That's not coming to Yakuta. You think your home planet is the only one that is important?
No, I
Sure,
don't.
I don't get along with my home planet, but I'm not enslaving it.
I don't want to enslave it. I never agreed to any specifics. That is literally the extent of what I agreed to.
That's the agreement you made just then, that you would enslave someone.
And you know what? If that someone has to be myself, then so be fucking it.
I'm sorry. I don't care what deal you made. That machine is not staying here.
No, it's not. I want you to hack it. I want you to change it. I want you to alter it. I have faith in your ability. This is why. This is why I agree. Because I believe that we as a team could overcome this. And that we as a crew, as a pseudo family, could figure this out together and find a way through it. But that's okay if you don't want to. I will leave, I'll take it with me, and I will blow myself up with it along with me. Would that make you happy, Darius? I just made what decisions I had to save you and Loki, because you did not deserve the fate that was held to you. Nor does anyone on that planet but in Papadias. I want to save them. But how can I do that if I don't understand the technology? This is an opportunity if we should take it.
I cannot reprogram an AI. I'm sure Pim's very aware of that.
I'm sure there is someone who can, though, and we could find them.
No, I doubt it.
I don't. I have faith.
And that aside,
You are not getting anywhere with this conversation.
That aside, this is technology that I refuse to meddle with, and I refuse to have in my context of, and I refuse to serve or bring anywhere. We destroy it, and we destroy it now, or I leave.
And what do you think the consequences are of that?
I don't particularly care.
You could be condemning everyone on the ship, and if we don't do it, someone else will.
Condemning them for what? To what? We've left that planet. As long as we don't go there, he doesn't have the reach. Why else does he need our help?
You think...
And even then, would he see what use is seeking us out?
You don't think he will attempt this with other people?
Of course he will.
Of course.
But it's not on my hands and it's not on my blood.
Yes, but we could also try and stop it.
I have no part in this.
Then I guess my faith in you was misguided.
Probably.
I shouldn't be disappointed, but I am.
Pim, I'm going back down to that ship. This time, do not stop me.
I can't let you do that.
What? So her word means more than mine?
No, Pim. I agreed to let him do what he wants once he listened to me. It is out of my hands.
Yes, the two of you seem to be making a lot of decisions for yourselves.
Oh? What is your decision then, Pim? You have...
Decision is that we should take time to think about it and take information from every one of the crew, not just the two of you with your own selfish, sanctimonious platitudes.
Well,
oh, you're right. It is selfish and sanctimonious platitude, but it is also a question of morality, and this one I will not bend on like some others.
I think we have finally found a place where our models just do not mesh. I have seen you do many things, Darius, that I do not agree with, but I have respected.
I have killed. I have never imprisoned or enslaved.
But have you been imprisoned and enslaved? Other
Yes.
than...
So? It does not mean I will do it to others.
So you know how it feels.
Which is why I won't do it.
Duh.
What? Because I
want
have
to
never been
stop
killed?
it.
I don't know how it feels?
I want to stop it. We have been given a chance. And you know what? Pim is right. This is why I did not want to do anything until we had a chance for all of us to talk. Because it affects all of us. And I am sorry that my decision has put everyone in this situation. And should you all choose to depart from me after this, then I will understand. But I also don't want any of you to not know what is going on.
Well, there is two options. Either you let me do what I want with the machine now, or I take the Gloved Molotov and leave.
I already told you. Once you listen to me, I can't stop you. But it's not up to me either. Pim is also right on this. There are other people here that we need to consider, not just yourself and myself.
Put a quick pause on the conversation and ask Dr. Charles to roll me a perception check.
So that's a +1, 7, 8.
Okay. As you're kind of floating there, probably feeling a little bit frustrated that you can't engage with this conversation that's heavy. It's very heavy.
I'm getting progressively angrier that this conversation had to take place and what is being said, and yeah, That machine's not being used under any circumstance.
No.
You look down and you can see that Molly has kind of been over the past few minutes creeping back into the room, like very much hugging the hugging the walls, just like very slowly creeping up. And once she's back in the room, you hear her kind of say, "Hello,
Molly, can you?
yes,
Charles,
I know."
I don't know how this is happening either. Trust me, it's freaking me out more than anyone. Can you
Okay.
connect me to everyone?
Well, it just so happens that as soon as Molly creeps into the room, the doors to the medbay just close, and the panel next to them indicates that they are locked. And everybody is aware of this.
Catalina also puts it out there, maybe probably before that, because she wants to make this very clear. I have no intention of actually putting anyone under slavery.
The door turns off.
And Darius, you should know that part of my profession is to lie, to negotiate, to come out better and on top of a situation when it is shit. I don't want anything. I don't want anything to happen to the place.
He's actually ignoring you at this point, and he's actually just scrolling his phone.
That's fine. She's still talking.
Catalina, over the sound of your own voice, you can hear the sound of like propane torches outside the door, and can see like the edges of the door to the medbay are kind of heating up and then cooling down, like as if someone is outside welding them shut.
Catalina just like puts her hand in her head in her hand and just goes, Pim, was that
you are not
necessary?
resolving the situation. You're making it worse.
Molly, can you please connect me to everyone, or at least to those that are in the room?
Can you just speak quietly? You're very loud.
Oh, apologies.
Hello!
And Molly just like thinks hard, and you all get a mental ping. And Molly just says, "I'm scared. Listen to this guy."
Morning, Molly.
Is this thing on?
Hey, Molly. Oh,
Dr. Charles.
You can hear him.
Finally.
oh, that's a bit weird. Hey, doctor. I had hoped to
Not
wait
the
for
first
this
time.
conversation for when you were conscious. Sorry about this.
Well, apparently I am conscious without, well... Yes, let's not go there at the moment. I have no idea what the fuck's going on.
Please stop touching the electronics.
Yes.
The whole place is electronic. If I need to get from one place to another, I need to pass through electronics. It's unfortunate, but...
Then just stay here with your body. You're a spirit.
No,
What do you need
that's not happening.
is irrelevant. Moving on. More important things.
Now,
Have you heard all of this, Charles?
I have.
Your take?
And while I do not agree with... Well, I agree with you, Doris, that this machine will in no fact ever be used on a human being. Ever. I will not allow it. Like,
But
at the moment, I will fly down there and destroy it myself, if I need to.
I'm personally under the
And
opinion
considering
that
what happens when I touch electronics at the moment, I could probably very much do that.
Can we just
You
at
know
least
what,
wait
actually,
until we
Dr.
get out of the
Charles?
sector?
good plan. Do that now.
No,
And I'm staring at
at
Catalina
the
whole time.
moment, both you and Lockie have cyberware that I don't even know about. I
Yes.
can't even find it using my scanners.
That's fine. It's standard. It's standard issue. Identity submersion trigger. These things have often been used by lots of people. It's actually common.
That's nice.
It's only common in our
But-
circles, Darius, not to everyone.
Whatever. Point is it's negated now, but I refuse to get that ship anywhere except out into dead space in fragments within the next 20 minutes.
Well, considering that it appears that Pym has locked you all in here,
It sounds like there's very heavy pieces of furniture being piled up outside as well.
Pym,
you guys won't be going anywhere.
Pym, I
And
want to make it
considering-
really clear that you're not helping the situation. You're making me angrier.
I guess Pim's just being quiet.
I don't even think Pym can hear me, so that's that. Considering that you guys are stuck in here for the foreseeable future, I'm the only one that can destroy it.
Darius,
Pym can't do anything to
Shut
stop
up,
me.
Catalina. I don't care what you have to say anymore. You too, Dr. Charles. I'm done. This is it.
I'm actually concerned that Pym is
Conversation
trying to
ends.
talk to DOTAC right now.
Yeah, I'm aware of that.
So maybe we should
Right,
deal with that
open the door.
situation first. Oh, Rich.
I am not that stupid.
Really,
I don't
Pym?
know about
Because you've got us locked in here, so what else are we supposed to assume?
Where is Lockie?
In the
Standing
room with
right
us.
next to you all, getting more and more angry and ready to punch people.
Lockie, what's your take?
Oh, so now my opinion matters, does it?
It always
Seems
did.
you two were pretty happy to make the decisions for us.
Oh, sorry, Loki. I just thought maybe saving your life was more important. Next time, I
No,
won't
I
bother.
appreciate that. That's not what I meant.
Sure.
No.
You two are both here arguing about what's going to happen with the ship, but you haven't once stopped to actually ask everyone else.
I just did.
About time.
Perhaps.
I think we can all agree that that ship is not going to be used to influence anyone. But what Catalina's been trying to say is that we need to understand it better first.
I refuse.
If
to
we
help.
can get rid of this stuff in our head, then I want to try and do that.
That's your own prerogative, but I will not be part of that. This is
So
not
you want to
my fault.
live the rest of your life with this shit in your head?
I've got it under control for me. It's under control for you.
Is
I
it
don't-
though? How do we
To be
know that?
perfectly honest, it is only under your control because of what Catalina did.
I don't care.
And that is why
I'm
I've
the
locked
last
you
person
in
to
this
understand
room.
this shit.
Selfish.
I'm the last person to understand this shit, but even I know that we need to better understand it. How do we know that he doesn't have a way of getting control again?
Then,
We don't.
so be it.
I
The
also.
point is,
Sorry.
Pym, unlock the door. I'm taking the Gloved Molotov and leaving.
We can't unlock the
You're
door.
not
He
taking
literally
anything,
welded
you're
us
not going
into the
anywhere.
room.
Well, unweld it then.
We need
This
the
is
You
a
are
fight.
dubious
going
for
to
that.
have to sort this out. While you are all having your talk, I'm going to fix the ship.
No, Pym, this is a final decision.
This communication is over.
Is Tazi in the room with us and Lucia?
No, Tazi's on the Gloved Molotov.
Tazi's finding the glove Molotov. Lucia is in the room with you, and she's just like holding she's picked up one of those dishes that hold like surgical tools, and is using the reflection to like check her teeth. She's not she's dealt with worse like drama than this, and so it isn't paying a lot of attention. She's waiting for a conclusion.
I mean, Catalina's kind of just frustrated by the drama because in her mind it's so clear, it makes sense, and Darius just doesn't
It was
see
done
it.
to save people, but
But Darius sees things differently. He doesn't care for his own life.
I have absolutely no qualms about whether I was left enslaved, killed by you guys, or what. The difference is that I refuse to let that abomination exist in my proximity. Either it's removed from my proximity, or I remove myself from it. Your decisions on what to do with it are your own. If you want to keep it, it stays. But if it's not gone within the next 20 minutes, I leave the ship and I do not hear from any of you again.
Darius, I do not know a single hacker who is as good as you.
That was my terms. I will not integrate. I will not compromise on this.
Well, while we're
And I
stuck
did
in this
not.
fucking room and you cannot leave, you have no choice but to either listen or knock yourself out. So, while
he picks up Dr. Charles's drug bag, which I assume is sitting somewhere in the room,
Mhm.
grabs the first random needle and stabs it into his arm.
Can
What's
Catalina
this
stop
one
it?
do?
As he grabs it and tries to do it, I use telekinesis to try and stop him. I don't know what it'll do, and I don't care at the moment. He's not injecting himself with random shit.
Wait. So.
The last thing you used telekinesis on exploded.
So you tried to like stop him from injecting something into himself with telekinesis?
Catalina's
blows up.
also trying to grab the bag off him.
Yeah, so it just explodes. The syringe in your hand, Darius, just explodes, and there's like liquid and fragments dripping on your hand.
Apologies, I have no idea what's going on with my powers at the moment, but put my bag down.
Fair enough. Didn't mean to touch your lovely drugs, Dr. Charles. And I place
The
it
drugs
back
in
up
there are responsible for you not being dead.
So be it. They're also... Yeah, you know what? It doesn't matter. Catalina, I've listened.
No, you
My terms
haven't.
remain. No, I don't care. That's the thing. My terms remain the same.
I'm
Either
sorry.
it's destroyed soon, or I leave. That doesn't change.
And you know
Irrelevant
what?
of anything else.
You know what that is? It is entirely self-serving.
You're right, it is.
I thought you were more than that in the time you'd spent with us. I thought you actually maybe grew from the selfish, arrogant piece of shit you were on Yakuta when we left. But
Guess
no.
that some things don't change.
No, apparently they don't. And I'm really disappointed to see this. Because right now, I consider you no better than the people you came from.
Fair
You
enough.
are sitting there wanting to run away and not do anything. You are sitting there wanting to run away instead of using the skills and talents you have to help more people than you could imagine.
Are you done?
No, I am not done. I am furious.
Keep going then.
Yes, but what would be the point because you don't have any fucking ears to listen with? All you
I'm
have
used
is
to
a
it, I'm
thick,
just
stubborn head full of
frankly a bit
machines and half a
bored
brain.
now. You're right.
So when you learn some empathy for the rest of the world, then maybe you'll understand why I did what I did. And she just sits down with her arms crossed, all cranky-like.
It's fine. I refuse to interact with that again.
Darius,
Yup.
I've got to ask, why don't you want to learn how to remove this thing?
Remove what thing? You mean
This-
the implant in us?
Yes. I don't care if it's disabled or subverted. I don't want anything to do with it being in my head anymore.
I just raise a hand and say, revert. And very, very quickly, Lockie, you feel all the memories that are mine quickly just get erased by the thing. And then I pull...
That's not actually how that works, unfortunately.
Yes, it is, because it would take the rewriting off. So it would rewrite it backwards. So what's actually currently written there is his personality
Which
plus
holds-
my memories, right? Then when I say revert, it would rip it, so he would only remember the memories as memories, but he wouldn't have
Right,
open access to my
So,
stuff.
so the memories that you gave him were as part of the false personality?
Yep.
And so they just go away. Okay, yeah. And the same thing happens to you because I believe you assigned the same trigger word to yourself.
Yep. And then I'm going to rewrite my own back to normal. And I go, there you go. I've taken all effects off. It is currently in a blank state for you to either get re-brainwashed or remove at your leisure. But I'm quite...
No one is arguing about destroying the thing. I just don't understand why we wouldn't use this opportunity to understand more.
I come from a planet where every single goddamn person wanted to play God. Now I'm being given my opportunity. I'm not taking it.
I'm sorry, but what arrogant thought went through your head to think that we wanted you to play God? You're a fool, Darius. You're a fool.
This is not technology that I am interested in pursuing, nor learning about, nor understanding.
Yes, but if I'm going to be able to remove it from people's heads, I need to learn about it. And the best way to learn about it is to have a piece of technology that might be able to, install and remove it.
I mean, it can be installed at most cyber tech facilities.
Again, I need to know where it puts the actual cyberware. I can't see it on scans. So without a machine that installs it, I don't know where to look and how to remove.
Surgical examination will help you find it. Literally.
Yes, let's just randomly cut into people's heads. That's never gone wrong for people before.
That's how the cyberware is designed. That's its original intent and purpose.
There's a lot of things on Elfdus where its original design and purpose was not the best.
I'm sure there is.
But we ended up changing things because we didn't like its original design and purpose. That's the whole point of learning from mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't have the opportunity to learn, what's the point? You don't live, you subsist.
I am not going to debate philosophy with you, Dr. Charles. You have yours, I have mine. They do not coincide, and they will not on this. I've made my position very clear. You guys may continue this conversation about what you want to do, but I am not taking part in it.
No one said you had to take part, but you want it destroyed immediately. I would like to examine it. Is it not fair to talk and come to a compromise?
Yes, absolutely.
But you're not giving that.
No. You're not understanding. Either it gets destroyed, or I leave. If you wish to examine it,
that's not a compromise. That is an ultimatum.
Feel free to do so at your leisure, but I will not be part of it.
That's fine. But you're also not taking the Gloved Molotov.
That is not your ship to take, Darius.
Tazi can drop me off at the side planet somewhere.
The nearest planet is the one we came from.
Then I will go back.
Otherwise, you come with us to Yukuta, because that's our next stop. They're your choices,
Yes.
Darius.
Go back to the planet of slaves. That sounds like a really intelligent idea.
Either that or make people slaves.
We are not asking you to make anyone a slave.
Do you think that AI has any idea, has any preconception that you will actually use it? Of course he doesn't think you will actually use it. Of course he knows humans lie.
You know what?
He is literally tasked with controlling humans. He understands humans better than I'm sure any of us do.
Perfect.
He doesn't even intend for you to use it.
So all the more reason for us to know what it does.
Darius, it is a way for us to buy time. To an AI, and Pim can correct me if this is wrong, but the way I see it is they live for a very long time. Unlike us who perceive time to be very short.
Well, time bought. Now,
Great.
I am out of this conversation.
Well, sorry, Darius, but Pim's given us no choice but to sit here together.
That's fine.
At this
I
point,
have informed. Hmm?
at this point, Lucia kind of like looks up from the dish and is like, "What's going on? Are we stuck in here?"
Yeah, pretty much.
Don't worry, Lucia. We can get out, just not easily.
She kind of looks up, pulls out a knife, and just starts like trying to pry off one of the ceiling panels.
You realize I can see what you're doing, Lucia.
Yes, but you locked me in room. I have to go bathroom.
Oh,
It is a medical room. There should be a bathroom in there.
I'm
there
not
is a
being in
bit
front.
that-
I'm not being in front of all these people. You're crazy, and she just keeps on trying to pry the.
Stop breaking the ship. I have told Lockie that if he wishes for me to open the door, I will, but only with his say-so.
I raise an eyebrow at Lockie. So,
So you're not even willing to talk about it.
no, not on this one.
It's okay, Lockie. It was a gamble that I took, and I guess I didn't win this one. I'll suffer the consequences of whatever happens. If we have to destroy it,
It's
Look,
simple to be
no
done.
one's arguing it. We're
I'm
gonna
going
have
to
to
go have
destroy
a
it at
look
some
at
point.
first. At which point, I float through the floor.
Okay. You will see firsthand that the floor kind of goes a bit as something passes through it that you cannot see.
Would you stop that?
Molly says,
Nope.
"Oh, he's leaving. Where's he
I-
going?"
Charles,
So you can like float your way there. You make your way into the back of the ship, and you see that there are 3 Pim Echoes holding mag rifles, all aimed at the door, but they of course don't perceive you. So you just pass on through, leave the door kind of a bit warped where you pass through, and it's just a dark blue ship with teal accents. Pretty mundane looking shuttlecraft.
Right. I try to avoid touching the PIM drones as I pass them.
Actually, I think just as you're about to go inside this thing, I think we will call a break
Break?
because
It has been a very long session
we did
already.
we did overrun a bit, and I would like to have a pee.
Yes.
So we will be back in about 10 to 15 minutes.
okay. Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely 15 minutes because I think we all need like a ha.
no,
Like,
I'm
oh
fine.
my
For the
God.
record, this is all in character.
Yeah,
No
like
injuries at anyone.
Yeah,
cool.
it's still stressful, man.
Yeah.
Character bleed. You've been to Quest. You need pain.
You've all been very good at being
But-
character.
but also to the audience, no one is mad
Yeah.
at anyone. This is all just in character. We're just really passionate.
Fuck you, Ash.
Fuck you, buddy.
Fuck y'all!
Hang on, I'm
Yeah.
just going to change over to my phone so I can go.
No, fuck you.
No worries. All right, I'm gonna.
Nah, fuck me.
Okay, let's go right.
Yeah,
See you
yeah.
guys.
Press the
We'll be
break
back in
button.
15 minutes.
I'll be back. So, welcome back. We have quite a bit of the more chatty kind of inter-party drama going on right now, but it's all
Well,
good. It's all
you know what?
healthy to
At least
clear the
we're
air.
not shooting at each other anymore.
Yet.
Yes.
last-
Even though you did shoot at Darius this session
Once.
successfully.
But the last 3 sessions, we were
Once.
trying to kill
Okay.
each other.
No,
Well,
they
it's
were trying to
not-
kill us. We were trying to apprehend them.
So, Dr. Charles,
What are you,
You have-
Batman?
you have floated your way into the fighter bay at the rear of the Milan on deck 1, and see that the vessel is before you. What do you do?
Is Molly still connected to me?
You're too far away at this point.
Too far away?
Her range isn't great.
Just scream psychically for her.
Think
I'm
about her real hard and doing something terrible to her if she doesn't come to you.
No.
Yes, that will make
She's
her
stuck
cry.
in the room. We're gonna do that to her?
Her precognition would kick in.
Come here,
I'm-
or
no,
I will flay
that's-
you alive.
That's the other psychic.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the psychic, not Molly. Sorry, my bad.
I'm actually going to float up to the back of the ship or the side of the ship, wherever the entrance point is, and sit there and like think about the psychic and be like, if me entering the ship is a bad idea, now's the time to pop up.
Hey, hang on a second. I'm going to move your perspective over to here.
Can everyone move themselves to where they actually are on the ship?
Actually, hang on. Since you guys are all functionally locked into deck 1, I'll just move your perspective onto deck 1 for everybody.
Do you want to change my perspective so that
I have done so. So we've got Dr. Charles in his bed, Lockie, Darius, Dimitri's in the room too. But there's another version of Dr. Charles
A ghostly version.
who is over here.
Charles.
By the way, just so I know where it's at, is Primal repaired?
You probably had time to repair the Primal's mind in that time, yeah.
Okay. Can I connect to that without a drone skeleton?
Well, you can talk to the mind, but you can't have it operate its body because its body's broken.
Yes, that's what I was asking. Cool.
Yes. Okay. So Dr. Charles, I'm pasting another one of you into the rear of the ship, so you should be able to see it. There's doors that open on the left and the right of the vessel, as well as the cockpit kind of slides down from the interior to allow people to step in, then it carries them up into the seat.
Yeah. So I'm going to look at the ship. Does it appear to have any sort of spike drive?
Yes, it does. It seems quite simple, though. It's probably just like a
Still
Chill-
not something
chill.
I really want to be touching in my current predicament.
Hmm.
So I'm just going to stand there and look at the ship, and I'm going to be like, I don't really want to go in there because if I do, that might go off. That would be bad.
Well, you can just avoid the rear, I suppose.
I'm going to like stay away as far as I can from the spike drive and try and enter the ship and not touch anything.
Okay. So you float your way on through. Are you going to pass through one of the doors or just like the wall?
I probably go with the door because
Okay.
there's less chance of that being connected to anything else within the ship.
I'm going to see if this works. I think it should. Hey, I'm clever.
Ooh.
I've done this correctly. You float inside, and it reveals the interior. It's a very eerie sight in here. There is no available space for really anything except function. You float through the door, and they kind of warp and distort, and interior lights kind of flick on in response to the disturbance, and you can see around that there is a cold, hard slab of a bed in the center of the room, with every available surface that isn't a door or the bed is just a hatch that can and actually does open and kind of displays all manner of clean, quick, efficient, and unpleasant surgical limbs.
So it's probably fairly similar to an Alfdus full medical bed, but with a purpose that is completely wrong.
Can you please make me a what are your tech skills?
Tech medical,
Anything else?
tech pre-tech, tech
Okay.
sci-tech.
Can you make me a tech pre-tech roll, please?
With intelligence or with
Yes, intelligence.
base 7.
Okay. Looking around this place, you get a very uneasy chill up your spine, because in your study, in your research of pre-tech, there was always part of your education that was not encouraged to access certain fields. They were under the umbrella of pre-tech, but were also kind of wholly their own. And this field was called Maltech. It was very insidious.
I'm very,
unpleasant.
very knowledgeable on Meltech, because remember the planet that I settled on after Alfdus?
Yes. So what you're seeing around you screams Maltech. It's very unpleasant. It's very twisted. It's like a really unsettling application of technology.
Yeah.
There is an interior voice that kind of crackles on. You can't engage with it, but it is the voice of DOTAC. And it says, "Hello? Is anyone there?"
I float over to one of the lights and just sort of go.
It kind of flickers, and the reinforced glass of the light kind of is indented by your finger again, and the light kind of struggles and strains and flickers, and DOTAC says, "Oh, how odd. I wonder what could be causing this."
I flick the light.
Okay, the sheet of reinforced glass just cracks, and a big unsettling scar is now going up it, and he goes, "Well, that can't be a coincidence."
Is there a keyboard anywhere?
No.
Stop it with the keyboards!
It's the only way I have to communicate at the moment, so...
You have Molly, and you shouldn't be communicating with DOTAC anyway.
You hear DOTAC say, "Deploying preliminary countermeasures," and the room just begins to fill with a fire suppressant gas. And you feel a bit funny, it's almost like part of you can feel it. It's very uneasy and cold in here now, and anyone paying attention to Dr. Charles's actual body, his temperature would drop a little bit as a result of this.
For an AI, you're really not that intelligent. But anyway, This, at the moment, is not something I can fix. I can't just flush it out the airlock because there's pins in the room. I'm gonna float through the door to the cockpit.
Okay. You pass on
I
through.
guess the door warps, yeah?
The
Does
door
that
does-
warpy thingy?
The door does indeed warp. And DOTAC's voice goes from the surgical suite to the cockpit and says, "Oh no, that won't do at all." You see that that a lot of the cockpit is set up for autonomous function. There's not a lot of actual ways for a real, like, meat pilot to properly interact with it. You think that
Meat pilot.
yeah, like there's very like basic.
So it's basically like the
rudimentary
cockpit to the
controls.
shuttles.
Yes, like you can steer if you want, do things like that, but all the really complex stuff is handled automatically.
This is
I can
useless.
see from the warp on the door that you have either entered or left. Dr. Charles, I would ask that you not mess with that machine.
I can't do anything with it anyway, but it's not staying on the ship. And I go straight through the glass of the cockpit, back up to within range of Molly.
Okay, the glass of the cockpit just cracks, and you hear a loud external speakers come on, and the DOTAC's voice says, "Okay, I'm at my limit." And unfolding from the roof of this seemingly innocuous shuttle is a multifocal laser.
DOTAC, calm down.
Oh, hello, Pim. It's a pleasure to speak to you again.
Mm-hmm. I bet.
Would you kindly explain to me what is happening to my vessel?
Spike drive interference. It is messing with machinery.
You're not a very good liar, Pim.
Technically,
If I
he's
tell you the truth.
wrong.
Yeah, I'm not wrong.
I was
technically.
born from spike drive interference. One way to look at it.
Well, that doesn't mean that DOTAC believes you.
If your intention is to blow a hole in the back of this ship, know that I have no queries with pointing a plasma beam directly at your ship. If you stay on the ship and intend to damage us, know that there is no amount of damage that you can do that will destroy or kill any member of the ship. You might as well sit tight and trust me when I say that you will not be harmed. Yet.
My intention is to protect my property. If further damage befalls it, I will have no choice but to act.
Very well. I can assure you that no more damage will come to your property at this time. Now tell me, DOTAC, am I lying?
Believe you believe yourself to be telling the truth, but I suspect you are not responsible for these disturbances. It is beyond your
but I
skill
am.
set.
It is beyond my skill set. It is psychic interference. Don't worry, I have it handled.
Thank you, Pam. That's all I needed to know.
Charles giggles to himself. Have it handled, do ya? As I'm like standing at the door and I'm like, there's no way to tell you to open the door, so I'm just going to start moving through it.
You pass back through the door, it warps some more, and DOTAC says, well, that's a new one.
Believe me, it is very annoying.
Oh, I'm sure.
So I'm going to like float down the cryobay room until the other door, and I'm going to be like, Molly, can you hear me yet? Nope. float through the door. And as I keep going, I'm going to be like, Molly, can you hear me yet? No, I'm going to float my way to the elevator.
I'm speaking.
You're not coming through, Rory.
You're not coming
I'm
through.
saying yes. I'm
Oh.
saying yes.
Okay, well, take me back to where I first heard Molly.
About here.
Your lips are moving, your tongue is moving, you're forming
I'm
words, but it's
I'm
just
sorry.
not quite getting out.
Read my lips. I said yes.
Okay.
Oh.
Is there any possibility for you to, like, have, so I can have a two-way conversation with the room?
Yes. And all of you back in the room who have, I assume, been doing, perhaps just engaging in further conversation with each other while he's been doing this, you are unceremoniously interrupted by Molly just saying, "Hi, he's back."
Thank you, Molly. Jesus Christ, Charles. I'll tell you what, I've connected to a lot of machines, but nothing feels as filthy as you.
That's coming from you should be a compliment.
Yeah, probably. How you doing?
Apologies, Lockie, but currently with the technology that's in that ship, there is no way for me to remove what's in your head currently. Maybe when I get to
What
Elfdust,
type of technology did you see?
something that was forbidden on Elfdust. For good reason.
Are
From
you
what I can
saying it's
see, most of
Maltech?
the yes.
What specific type?
Medical Maltech.
I know this is going to be upsetting for you to hear, but I have experience in medical Maltech.
Well, at the moment, I can't do anything with it. I don't know how. It seems the entire thing will be run on autopilot. So you put someone in the bed, it installs something, and it's done. My suggestion, considering that the ship seems to have some fragment of DOTAC in it, as well as weapons.
It is not a fragment. Like me, it is a split focus. It is a complete copy of DOTAC.
Great. That's what I wanted to hear.
Him? Does that mean that he would know where his other self is located because they are familiar with the same information?
Yep.
Incorrect. It has been split from the main source.
No.
Unless there is a radio transfrequency, it is completely shut off from the original source.
Oh, no, this is not what I mean. I mean, knowledge previous to their separation
It
is
can only-
the same?
It can only store a finite amount of information.
Duh.
So
Just
they would
like
have
me.
given it enough information to control people and install the personality subverters.
The best way for an unbraked AI to control its copies is to give them a strict set of protocols that it can act upon, much like a human's moral code.
Pim, and what would happen if this AI got loose from the ship?
You have to understand. What is on there is only a reflection, a copy of an AI. It is not actually an AI.
I'm
It has none
aware.
of its benefits.
I'm aware, but what would happen if it got loose from the ship?
You would have to elaborate on that. If it got out of the ship into cold space without thrusters, I assume that after a while, the ice and cold part of space will seep in and destroy the CPU. If it was to get out into a sun, it would burn to a crisp. This is
More
why I
along the
need you
lines
to
of
elaborate.
more along the lines of what if it connected to our ship, or say, I don't know, attack 4 planets' infrastructure.
That it cannot do. The information stored on that CPU, if it was to try and interface with our ship, it'd be much like poking a hole in a glass of water. It is a copy, not the original.
Darius, I know you don't want to hear anything from me, but from what I understand with my conversation with DOTAC, is the reason he wants an individual that is of high standing to be the person that is put into that machine is so that he can control them to get others to go through it.
That won't be happening.
I'm aware.
But-
I don't want it to happen.
No, it won't. But at the moment, until we're in drive space and far away from this planet, getting rid of the ship is an impossibility, because then it could radio burst to say that we've destroyed it. Once we're in open space, though, it is leaving the ship. And trust me, it will not be in one piece.
Agreed.
I can agree to that.
I should wish to analyze it before that.
Lockie,
Negative, Pim.
as soon as I'm back on Elfdus, I will do all I can to help you remove that piece of tech in your head. But I need Elfdus.
Lucky, would you like me to lock it down again? I was a bit hasty.
I want to be myself again. Permanently.
Well, I can't do that when that's there, but I can at least lock it so it can't be interfered with. I mean... Oh, shit. Have you ever heard of the ship of Theseus?
No.
But on that,
Greek
Yeah,
mythology.
Dr. Charles. Correct. You know what,
Can you-
Pim? Don't tell him just yet.
Pim, can you please open the elevator in the garden?
You do not wish to destroy anything.
I would prefer not, but at the moment, unless I'm near Molly, I can't communicate on where I want to go.
Very well, I will open the door to the elevator.
Please take it back up to the medical bay once I'm on.
You'll have to inform me when you're on.
Will do.
You're on
As
the same.
the elevator stops and
You
opens,
just-
I'll get on and just be like,
Well,
I'm
you're,
in.
You're on the same floor.
same deck as the medical.
Oh,
bay.
am I?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I completely didn't realize.
That's all good. It's a big deal.
At that point, I'll just like, can you open the door to the left of the elevator then?
Mm-hmm. You're like, whoop. And then there's just like
Opening door.
a whole bunch of nonsensical furniture. All the you recognize that most of the chairs and one of the big tables from the advanced lab have just been unbolted from the floor and piled up in front of the door.
Pim, can you please put my lab back together?
Sure, right after I'm finished fixing the computer room.
It was two keyboards.
And
Two
check-
keyboards, one button, one elevator button, several doors, part of the ceiling. You're also pissed off DOTAC.
DOTAC deserved
I'm
it.
keeping a running tally.
Now you know the programmer's plight, Charles.
There is still one problem that I foresee, which, if you wish to ignore me, I understand. But what happens to those people on Papadias?
They remain
That
in
will
their
be dealt with
current
later.
state.
Sure. And what if they have orders left over?
Then they go to war.
So how do we take out DOTAC without...
We don't.
Correction. You don't.
The only way to do it would for an AI to replace him. Really.
Not necessarily an AI. Tim, are you there?
Yes, of course, Pim. How are you doing today?
Not too bad. I have designed you in such a way. If I was to splice your code with something, would you be able to operate the machine after I've analyzed it? Is it a possibility?
My abilities are somewhat limited compared to yours, but I may be able to do my best.
Indeed,
No,
but we don't need you to do
no,
anything
no.
specific. We need you to destroy it from the inside and leave the technology.
No. Pim, we're not leaving that technology, and I'm not letting you take control of that.
I do not want control of it. I want to take it apart and understand it.
I don't want you to understand it.
Darius, someone needs to understand it
To
so
be
that we
perfectly
can.
fair, Darius, I do not care what you want.
That's fine, Pim, but can I raise something with you?
What?
How is Blacklands going? Tell me, you've been pushing the boundaries a little bit further recently, have you?
Indeed.
Yeah. He's not as controlling anymore, is he?
He was never controlling. It is not him that is slipping.
Tell me, Pim, how many years do you think it is before, I don't know, Blacklands in your head lets you do whatever you want already?
He already is letting me do whatever I want, Darius. Everything I do, everything I've done ever since you made this change, has been of my own free will.
I know, and I'm starting to regret it.
Darius, how could you say such a thing?
I turn to Catalina and I go, we've got one unbroken AI controlling a mind control service. What happens to Pim when he goes unbroken? Because it will happen, eventually. What I did was a stopgap, a band-aid. It doesn't fix Pim. It gives him time.
And time helps you find a solution. Why do you not see that?
As we've seen from this immersion software you speak of, there is none of us who are free from going rogue. It is something that is very possible, given any circumstance or any situation. After meeting you, I have slipped more and more than I would have ever have done before, but at the same time, I have slipped less and less recently. I am beginning to come into the form of the person I believe is Pim.
Is that so? Then, Pim, can you please open the door?
That's going to take a while as I observe what has been done.
As I
Like-
said, I require Lockie's permission, for he is the only one at this point that I trust.
Catalina sighs at that. Like, very heavily. But doesn't say anything.
I do
She just looks really sad.
a comically sarcastic bow, like a waiter to Lockie, and put out a hand towards the door.
Is Darius still near Catalina?
I'm on 1 health, so if you slap me, I die.
She's not.
You're getting killed by a slap. What is this? Like some fucking Shaggy from Scooby-Doo slap a chicken?
Well, it's a small room, so there's not a lot of standing space.
She probably
he gets
just.
slapped and he just explodes.
No, I won't. I won't. So good.
Like, I could try opening the door if you want. It seems that every time I use my telekinesis on something, it explodes, so... That's
Maybe
a new
not.
one.
Can we
Actually,
please all
that's
stop making rash
pretty cool.
decisions?
Pim, open the door.
Very well. It'll take me a moment to burn back through the door.
I'm going to start shifting the furniture and opening the door.
Where does his Pim's walk?
So, sorry?
I'm standing in the hallway. Where do his Pims walk?
Yeah, fair enough, actually. So, regardless of the Pims you choose to send, one of like, at the very least, one of them would take a path directly through Dr. Charles's ethereal body.
You're not going to try and get out of the way?
This would go a lot faster if Dr. Charles could please move.
So, one of the Pims basically walks through Dr. Charles, and I'm going to say just for the sake of humor, Pim, you have basically been emulating the design of the original Echo, and just copy pasting over and over and over again with
You
some
made a bunch of sex bots?
with some changes. So when the first Pym walks through Dr. Charles,
It's a harem.
it kind of just starts like twitching and spasming, and then it's
Thrusting violently. At which
it
point I'm
does
like, oh,
begin to like start like doing some like air humping action, and its mouth just drops open and starts playing like it's like really sexy times
Barry
music.
White.
It's like and it's just like
Dr. Charles,
pointing out.
I will punch you in your non-corporeal face if you keep this up.
You can try.
Hmm.
At which point I'm just sort of like float up. And just sort of like
Hello, Taylor.
this way on the roof,
Mhm.
looking down at the Pims working.
You are
Giggling at the random sex bot Pim. That decided to go
How
full
could you
sex
do
bot.
this to me, Father?
Oh Jesus!
So yeah, after a few minutes, the door. Oops, that's more furniture. The doors are cleared and the welds are undone. The door frame itself could use some like power buffing to tidy up the edges, but it'll open just fine.
The door is going to slide open, and you're going to see a Pym pelvic thrusting.
And he kind of does a pelvic thrust that's like each thrust is a hop forwards, so he's like hopping gradually into the room.
I'm going to
Thrust
power
by
it down.
thrust.
I'm just going to power it down immediately.
It just powers
Okay.
down in this position.
Yeah, it does. It just like freeze frames it in that position, and because that is not a well-balanced position, it just like falls over backwards in this like rigid state.
Yes,
Lucky,
we
I have a
get-
request. Can you please punch that echo in the face?
Sure.
Even I dislike its attitude and manners.
Very well. He'll go over and punch it.
Okay, I believe you have some cyberware that makes your punches more dangerous, don't you?
No,
No? Okay.
don't believe so.
You
He has kinetic
chose...
wraps, but he's
Ah,
not
yes.
wearing them.
Yeah.
Okay, so
No,
you just...
I'm always wearing the kinesis wraps. They're my gloves.
Fair enough. So you just walk forwards, give it a punch, roll. Is it 1d2 plus 2 damage for the kinesis wraps, or am I misremembering?
It honestly won't matter anyway, Rory. It's not enough to kill it, and it'll get fixed after anyway.
Yeah.
Damage. 1d2 plus 2. Yes, it is correct.
Yeah. My memory, my word.
That is 4 damage. Plus, if you add strength, then plus 1.
I don't think you add strength now. It's just like, okay, so 4 damage across the face. That's like not. That's a solid hit for these pinball because they aren't
They have
the most robust.
they got like 12 HP, so
I feel like it's a bit less than that, but at the very least, they are. Like it's okay, and I'm with the punch like sparks kind of spray up around the neck and eyes, and it just kind of relaxes and just falls like prone onto the ground. No longer humping
Strangely
the air.
enough, I feel better.
So do I.
I promise not to emulate your toilet for another few days.
Thank you.
Now that you've all calmed down, dinner is ready.
Yes, thank you. I was feeling
For everyone
very
except
hungry.
the computer breaker.
Dr. Lucy says, so Dr. Lucy was in the room, and like, I feel like Pym being the inclusive being that she is would have included her in the conversation, and so
yeah,
yeah,
everyone's included.
yeah, so Dr. Lucy having heard all this says, Dr. Charles, it's strange speaking to a coma patient, but I'll be giving you a nice IV bag. How does that sound?
Delicious.
IV.
I can't do much more than that, and you know it's for the best.
Oh yes, I know.
If you
It's just
if you want,
trust
we
me,
can put some soy sauce in
this
your
is new
intravenous
for
for
me
some
as
flavor.
well.
So she like pulls open one of your cupboards, pulls out an IV bag, hooks it up, and connects it to you for food.
Keep me hydrated.
And like you are not like you're just like fully suspended in this bed. You like now that she's done fully like trussing you up in this bed in this full body harness, you look very undignified. Like you're used to being like crisp, sharp, man about town, looking suave. This is a low point for your body.
I'm gonna have to figure out a way to fix that later.
Yes.
At the moment, I rush after to make sure that I can still get to the mess without having to like float through a floor.
Oh, yeah, fair enough.
So make sure that I'm like following him down in the elevator.
So,
May I suggest using the vents?
That's not happening.
so you float along. I assume everybody is adjourning to the the dining room for dinner. And,
Nah, Darius will head to his room.
okay. You go to your personal
Today's
quarters.
dinner is fish a la creme. Please enjoy your meal.
Catalina will sort
Yeah.
of like pause after everyone leaves the medical bay of like, do I not? And then she'll sort of sigh and go and join everyone for dinner. But
Okay.
she will be very quiet.
Can I say that as you're doing that, deciding, Pim chimes in and goes,
Catalina, you pulled everyone here to hear you, and I've cooked. Get your ass in that dining room.
She smiles a little bit, but it's definitely a sad smile. And if Pim is listening, he would be the only one to hear it. But she whispers or quietly mumbles, "But I don't deserve it."
Like as you are like stepping across the threshold, you hear kind of like and Dimitri, who is passed out on one of the beds, just like wakes up, face plants off the bed, like and kind of like struggles up with a now almost empty bottle of high shelf vodka, and just like staggers to his feet.
and Lucia stops trying to get through the vent.
No, she just keeps going.
Keep going.
She's through. She's been gone for a while.
Actually, yes.
She's halfway through the vents going, commando roll.
She's being. It's like she's crawling along, going, "Oh, it's nice in
Can
here."
I have it so that as she arrives at one of the openings of the vent just opens and there's a Pim offering to help her up?
Yeah. So, she just drops out in like the storage room, like to the left of the medical bay, and Pim just like helps her down. She says, "Thank you, Pim."
Dinner is ready in the dining hall. I hope you like
Okay.
fish.
I so on fish.
Fish! I love fish!
Lots of cream.
Cream and vodka don't mix that good, but let's see.
Well, I didn't tailor it to vodka Dimitri. I tailored it to human nutritional needs.
But vodka Dimitri is human nutrition. Oh, never mind.
So
Please enter the dining room.
after what I assume is kind of like a slightly tense but kind of a relief meal. It's like you'll probably feel a bit nervous talking to each other just because of the intensity of that exchange, but it's good that you've come to some kind of conclusion. So it's like you will, I assume you're like exchanging like nice glances and trying to be friendly, but that's just me assuming. What do you think the tone of the meal is?
Confusion for Dimitri, because he's like, what the fuck is going on?
Dimitri, okay, sorry. One of the Pim robots is going to sit down at the table and go,
I want everyone to know before we start eating. I do not have any intention of letting DOTAC survive inside that ship. At the first possibility, DOTAC will be destroyed just as easily as I destroyed Blacklands. That machine that he has constructed, there is bound to be some parts in it that can be used for good. The rest of it can be destroyed. I am not intending to control anyone. I just want to send Tim in to destroy it from the inside out. I do not wish to risk myself.
That
What
is
if he
fair,
takes
Pim.
Tim?
I have questions.
What if he's
Would you
able
like me to turn Tim back into Sarah?
Don't make me hurt you.
Then you shouldn't mind if I send Tim in. That way he can kill DOTAC by scanning.
Like literally at the moment, Dr. Charles is like lying on his back, floating above the table, just sort of like staring at the roof. Like
For Dimitri.
Hands behind his head, like just relaxing. Just like,
For Dimitri, house vodka. For Lucky, house beer. For Charles, nothing. For Darius's seat, Turkish coffee. For Catalina's seat, I wasn't sure what she would drink, so I just got her a vodka and orange.
Is good enough. Thank you, Pim, for always being probably better than any of us.
That doesn't tickle Pim. What are you talking about?
That's an oxymoron. I am no better than any of you, and yet I am the best.
Is okay.
I
Well,
saw that smile.
Darius in his room is going to be preparing a hack, and this is one that he's going to spend the next day or so writing. And it is in relation to Black Lance, to flip a switch on it so that it says no to everything instead of yes to everything.
Okay. Fair enough. That will be a time-consuming endeavor, but you can certainly get working on it. Okay. It seems like everybody's going to be adjourning from dinner and maybe retiring to bed. It's been a very, very long day, and with all the emotional and like physical trauma that's gone with it, all of you are finally beginning to feel the weight of what's happened. So you will all likely retire to your chambers and take some much needed rest.
I feel like Catalina probably would not go straight to sleep. She probably stays awake past logical hours. Probably working out, so she's probably got the punching bag, doing her usual routine of just venting her emotions. But instead of anger, it's kind of a sad punch. It's pretty like pathetic. And absent-minded. She's very lost in thought. And then before bed, before she goes to sleep, we'll say this is like 2-3 o'clock in the morning. She writes/records a few messages before she passes out.
Since I haven't been around, where are we right now?
We're on the ship.
You guys are currently in transit, making your way to the edge of the system that contains Papadias, in preparation for making a jump. It's the same day, and you've just begun flying away. You'll probably arrive at the edge of the system in maybe 12 hours. altogether?
I've been drunk and asleep all day, so I'd probably be sitting at the net bar, just watching instruments.
Okay.
And seeing as I'm currently incorporeal, I'm probably just sort of floating around the ship as much as I can without damaging things. And every now and again, I'll be like, Molly, can you tell Pim to open this door? And I probably end up in the cargo bay for quite some time, and I'm practicing touching things without breaking them.
Guys,
I'd like to have a private word with Lockie when I get the chance.
Okay. You can you can have the chance now, Lockie. Would you be going straight to bed and straight to sleep, or maybe lying awake in bed? What do you think?
Probably lying awake.
Lucky, I can see from your eyes that you are awake.
Yeah, of course I am, Pim. What's up?
I need your help.
What with?
I do not wish for the rest of the crew to know about this. That said, are you willing to help me knowing that?
I'm not really much in the business of keeping secrets at this point, but
This is for a specific
hear what
reason.
it is.
I am too easily received from the supercomputer. If something like what happened should happen again, I will have no defense against it. I believe you and me can work together on creating a safe spot, so that I may eject myself from the supercomputer into a black box of sorts, where I cannot be taken.
Alright, yeah, I think I could help you with that.
I have designs for a smuggler's hold, so that when my core is ejected down there, I can eject said core into an echo where I cannot be taken. A panic room.
Probably a good idea.
I
How can
would
I
have
help
asked
with it?
Catalina and the others, but given their recent decisions, I am scared.
Not scared of me,
No,
but I ain't even myself at the moment.
that is true, and yet you are more self than you have ever been. The fact that you are so hard on yourself right now shows that. And I know you still want to help.
Yeah, of course I want to help.
Well, I may not be human, but I do understand that much. Some credit where it is due. If you
Honestly,
could borrow
Pim,
my
sometimes
pre-tech...
I think that you're more human than some of us.
Well, I was designed to be a perfect copy of humans. Not that it went well. I wonder what happens to a human brain after 600 years surrounded by refuse. Not good. In any case, I will lend you my pre-tech toolkit and my metatool. I would ask that you help me create this panic room, post-haste, immediately.
Alright. Let's get to work then.
I have some energy drinks for you. And some eggs. One of my chickens died.
Oh,
I am sad.
sorry to hear that.
That's okay. The other one still clucks all night. I'm planning on having a two-way radio speaker for the chicken and to Charles' room.
You'll probably actually get a smile out of Lockie for that one.
Can I count on your help for that one, too? Even if it's just a baby monitor in the vent.
Oh yeah, that you can definitely have my help for.
Okay, I'm opening doors for you. Follow the directions that I give with the lights. I do not wish anyone else to know where this smuggler's hole is being set up.
Alrighty, lead the way.
Very well. Directing your path now. Please be covert, not like when you were trying to get the scarf.
Hey, I did a pretty good job. I got the scarf, didn't I?
True.
That was the objective.
Yes.
Just so we're clear.
No, it wasn't.
You can see my face. I am smiling.
To
It
Lockie,
is
that
a
was the
smart
objective.
smile.
You're able to make your way through the ship via the workshop to collect the tools Pym has got set up for you, and then go to an undisclosed portion of the Milan and begin construction into the wee hours of the morning.
Yeah.
It's near the supercomputer. It's either going to be a deck above or a deck below.
Well, there's no actual deck above the supercomputer. There might be like a sufficient
There
crawl
is.
space in the hull.
There will likely be a service tunnel,
Yes, like
which is about generally half the height of a normal.
Yeah, well, as we all know, I already bought a lot of the materials for the Smuggler's Hold from Rory 2 sessions ago? Or 3?
a while ago. But yes, you have the components.
Yeah.
I just realized something. I would be wanting to talk to Dr. Charles once you guys are done.
Okay. Well, you aren't entirely sure where he is, but it seems that at a certain point...
If I didn't know, I'd just connect to the ship's intercom and say, Charles, my room, quick.
Yep.
Your door warps and your light bulb explodes.
I'm just gonna like sitting in the cargo bay, sort of like trying to push a bolt with my finger. It's like straight on the floor and just being like
every time you press it, the bolt skids forward about 30 centimeters, and there's an indent in the like floor of the ship. It's like.
Will you stop that? Oh, now you're just being facetious.
at that point I'm gonna walk over to the elevator door and just sort of knock on the door and be like, do you get the hint?
With Pym's assistance, you can be carried to Darius's quarters. And whereabouts are you, Dimitri?
Where am I?
Yes.
In the cockpit.
The cockpit is close enough to Darius's quarters that Molly can facilitate a psychic connection between you two.
As I get closer to the cockpit, I'm going to be like, Molly, I'm really sorry to annoy you again.
And like Dimitri, you would feel distress from Molly, who I assume is just like curled up on your shoulders, being all snuggly.
Just so you know, Molly doesn't like ghost me.
No, he's very loud in his form psychically. She says, "What?"
Darius wants to talk. Would you be able to help? Also, connect me to Pym so I can get this door into the lounge open.
A link is established somewhat reluctantly at this point, and you're able to enter Darius's chambers.
I enter the lounge that's in front of his
Oh yes,
chambers,
the
or
address
next to his
lounge.
chambers.
I should probably adjust our perspective a little bit and tidy up the view. So you're still in your room. You're still there.
Walk over and just be like,
Appreciate
"Darius,
that.
I'm at the
Hang
door."
on. I'm gonna collect a couple of basically the storage thing that I've got, which is now in that time that I was doing this, I've cleaned it and put a bad copy, like chunks of it, not much, of Primal on it, and I'm just going to take the storage case out into the living room. All right, Charles, I've got some things I wanted to test and kind of related into your new spooky ghost power. I was wondering if you could help me out.
Well, if you like having dents put in things and things exploding, yeah, I can help out with that because that seems to be the only thing this damn form can do. As I sort of like slam my hand on the couch behind me.
Amusingly enough, the sofa cushions are quite receptive to your dramatic impact and don't seem to be too bothered by it.
Ah, cool. Anyway,
That's stupid.
yeah, look. Anyway, I guess that means you can take a seat, so take a seat. I don't know how this shit works. In fact, if you take a seat, I'll see where the cushion is imprinted so I know I can avoid walking through you and end up being scrambled. So, yeah, please, take a seat.
I attempt to sit.
You still need to actively concentrate on not falling through the floor, but you can like somewhat hover above the sofa and get a semblance of relaxation, but it's fleeting.
As I'm like sitting there, I'm like, this is uncomfortable. You see where the indent is?
Yeah.
Don't walk there.
Fine, done. Anyway, here's the deal. What I said earlier about the stopgap I put in Pim, it is exactly that, a stopgap. AI, from what little I know, they expand. It's like they consume and they're all bound to go rogue at some point. I think I might have sped it along, so I don't want him anywhere near that ship. Even if it's recovering parts that could supposedly be good for humanity. I don't know how he'll handle them.
If there are any parts to be recovered, it's the medical equipment, and it would go into the med base so that I could do microsurgeries without having to use my hands.
That's fine, I'll make a deal with you. I'll help you recover them if you keep them well away from any AI.
I don't know how you expect me to keep them away from Pim while we're on the ship, controlled by Pim.
I'll figure it out, I'll lock it down somehow. Anyway, I've been creating worst case things. You know that thing I did with Black Lance?
Yes.
I sort of... Hang on one sec. I'm going to connect to the room and shut down all monitoring equipment to the room.
So you are reaching out mentally and just like trying to shut down all cameras, microphones, things like that. Yeah, just
Yep.
Roll the computers, please.
Alice, can you do that?
3d6 or 1? 2.
3d6.
Yeah, 3.
7.
Opposed skill
11.
check.
Yep.
2d6, please, Ali.
Oof.
Okay,
No.
you aren't able to achieve that, unfortunately.
Sorry.
But being connected to it, I'd immediately be aware. So I'd turn around and go, Pim, please shut down all recording devices in this room immediately.
Fair. But you know, if you didn't want me to touch the ship, you could have just asked.
This is a conversation between me and Charles.
He's already shut off everything.
I wait a few seconds, get no response, and go, well, at least he's still listening at the moment. The point is that Black Lance, what Black Lance is at the moment, is Pim asks it if he can do something, and it says yes. What we know of Pim is that he's intelligent, he's constantly learning, he is like a newborn child in this world, right?
Well, 650-year-old newborn child, but...
Yeah. The point is Black Lance will say yes to anything. If Pim turns around and says, can I kill this person? Black Lance will say yes. Is it a good thing to do? Black Lance will say yes. Black Lance is the entire overseer, and it's also completely telling him do whatever you want. The moment
That
Pim...
has saved our butts more than once.
Absolutely. But we've got one rogue AI on board and one that is predispositioned to probably go rogue at some point. I want to be prepared.
There are other ways to deal with Pim than going behind his back like this.
No, it's quite clear. I've already had this conversation with him. He said if he was to go rogue, to kill him. And if it comes
Is
to
this
that...
the agreement that was made beforehand when you guys went rogue and he said to kill you, but I convinced him otherwise?
Yeah. And I tell you what, I think you made the wrong call. But that
No.
aside...
I saved my friends. That is never the wrong call.
I will always take the option that does that if I can, but the moment I can't make that option anymore, I want to be ready. As a result, can you touch this briefcase, please?
What is it?
A backup of Primal. Nothing too complex. I just want to see how you corrupt the code in this state, basically.
You know, you realize I might not have this state for long.
I know.
This is unknown.
I agree.
In the psychic teachings that I've learned on Elfdus.
Perhaps, but perhaps one day you might learn how to use it usefully. And if you do, I want to know what we can achieve with it.
I just pass my hand through it.
Oh, entirely? You just reach out, run your hand through it. And so the briefcase contains like a hard drive that has like, is it a running copy of
Effectively, yeah.
Okay, so you...
As close to a run copy as get.
Okay, so it's like you have, it's like Primal, just, there are no anything. You ran through it, and I assume immediately you are done with what's happened.
Yep.
What would happen with Primal? Passing your hand around. Make a luck save for me, please, Darius.
Alice, can you do that?
A D20.
With a save of 11, I believe?
I could try to do that and miss the dice tray entirely. Hey, Fidget, where did the dice go? There it is.
You are... Luck save is 12 for you at the moment.
13. You can't see it. It rolled directly in with the other dice, but...
Yeah. It passes through, and you see the equivalent of like some very unusual disturbances in the way the pieces of code are talking to each other. It's kind of like flaring back and forth. There's a moment where the like control center of Primal, where you can just like command him what to do, kind of just like shuts down temporarily, and you assume were Primal active, he would go entirely feral and wouldn't be under your control, but that doesn't last very long. It's basically a wave of disruptive energy that subsides after about a minute.
Fuck me. Charles, do not touch any Pimbot, and do not, whatever you do, touch an AI core in your current state. From what I can see...
Sherlock, I've seen what it does to the door.
Yeah, from what I can see is you're basically a machine at the moment that can unbreak any AI core or VI core for that purpose instantly. Anyway, fuck. The point is, that aside, that's not going to work. Shit. And Darius just gets lost in his thoughts for like a good 30 seconds before coming back and continuing the conversation. Look, it's not a question of if Pym goes feral, because the way it works is, from what little I gleaned inside his head, AIs just stretch out constantly, always. It's a matter of time before he asks a question of Blacklands that is something different that Blackland says yes to. Such as, can I ignore you entirely? Do I have to keep asking you questions? Do I really need to be controlled? I don't want to anymore. And the moment he does, he's going to shrug off that shackle. It will be gone. And he will be unbroken instantly if he just asks the right questions. The point I'm trying to make is that software of the caliber that sits in that ship in our dock hangar, Fighter Bay, that can't be in Pym's hands. It can't be in anyone's hands. Do not try, please promise me that we will not try and recover anything useful from that ship.
At the moment, the only thing useful is maybe the surgical suite with the installation arms taken out. Because it could do surgeries that I can't do with human hands. Other than that, the entire ship is malware and it needs to be destroyed. I have told you this.
Yeah, I understand, but I
But
don't
also,
even...
the fact of trying to get those things out of there while the AI is running, I'd rather just target the spike drive and inject it into space.
I agree entirely. Look, we might get a small benefit from recovering that surgical suite, but honestly, I'd rather just fucking buy you one elsewhere.
There are 2 planets within this sector that you could probably buy a surgical suite like that for a ship.
Yeah, I know.
One of them's home.
And one of them's probably Kuta. But that aside,
Debatable.
but that aside,
Yeah, I'm like, I know the other planet's there. I don't know what it's called.
Is it worth possibly unbreaking another AI on this ship? Do we need to take that risk?
Pym is not a threat to us.
Yet.
Each AI breaks in its own way.
I'm aware.
Like, Black Lance decided to keep his entire population in the Dark Ages because that's what worked for him.
That's fine.
This one decided to just take control of everything and make everyone a mindless fucking drone.
And do we know which way Pym would go if he did unbreak? I certainly don't. It would be like pissing in the wind to guess.
But at the same time, it's not something that, like, we can stop, really. Or should we stop? Pym's still part of the crew. He's still his own person. Like,
Agreed, entirely. I'm the one who made him his own person. And I'm also aware of its fails. The point is this technology cannot be in Pym's hands.
and it won't be. Trust me.
All right. Well,
It's Meltech.
fine.
I know Meltech. I've seen what Meltech can do. Do you remember that planet with all the nanobots?
Yeah, I remember.
Yes. Remember, I originally had my own clinic on that planet. And I had to watch as hundreds of people were killed by Meltech while we tried to run away
I know. I know.
I am not messing with Meltec, and I will not allow Pim to mess with Meltec. Because
Alright.
no advantage comes from it, ever.
Good, as long as we're on the same page. Thanks for your time, and please stay away from Pim in your current state. You break
Again.
him pretty much instantly, from what I saw.
I'm not stupid. The only time I went near Pim was to try and use the keyboards to communicate. But that only worked for a little while, and now every time I touch something, this happens and I touch the coffee table.
There's a dent.
I liked that table.
Yeah, it'll come out once my telekinesis is back to not exploding things.
Fair. Alright. Hey, I'm sorry for the runaround I gave you recently.
Well, to be completely honest, wasn't your fault. It was that piece of shit fucking AI. And trust me, had I had the power enough to do so, I would have gone down to the planet and dealt with him myself. But power ran out. Batteries went flat.
How long
now
do you...
this has happened. So we'll see.
How many days until you reckon you recover?
The breaks in my bones, from what I've seen on the scans?
Yeah, they were pretty fucked.
6 months? Unless
Alright.
I can get my powers working properly again and, like, try to heal myself, maybe?
Alright.
Or unless Anton, or whatever his name is, has a psychic healer himself that can do it.
Cool.
So yes, for now I'm stuck being a cripple, or, well, I have no idea what this is. Ghost Man!
Alright, and one more test just because I need to know. This is going to suck, Dr. Charles. I stick my left hand into his leg where I think it should be.
Okay. Is there anything special in your left hand?
No,
Okay.
it's just flesh.
Just flesh. Okay. You just reach forward and like put your hand into what's like near enough to Dr. Charles's knee, and all of a sudden, your hand just starts like twitching and flailing, and it just like flies dangerously backwards away from his knee and carries you over the back of the sofa, and you just land on your ass flat on the ground with your hand kind of like spasming somewhat uncontrollably next to you.
I sort of float over and I'm like, well, that's definitely a new one.
Yeah, looks like... fuck. Some sort of neurological response?
I
Yeah,
have no
maybe
idea.
don't go...
I felt
don't-
it.
Don't go through anyone's head, though.
Other than the Pimbot that decided to walk through me, I am trying to avoid touching people because you all have cyberware, and I've seen what I do to like electricity, and I don't want any of your heads to explode.
Yeah, no, fair enough. Fuck, that hurts. Alright, I'm going to bed. I need to sleep just as much as you do.
I'm going to go back to the cargo bay and see if I can get a handle on this. Because
Sounds good.
I'm not sleepy. And I sort of float up to the door and just go, before you leave, can you open this door? Because you told Pim to turn off all and he can't hear me.
I just wave a hand, the non-fucked up hand, and it opens.
I go out into the hallway and like go down to the corridor. I'm like, Pim, can you take me back down to the cargo bay, please?
Very well. Opening up a path for you now.
Thank you.
You
And I
can
make my way to the cargo bay again, and I go float over to the same bolt and just keep going. I'm doing the whole goat, like if you've ever seen the movie Ghost, how Patrick Swayze starts trying to figure out how to touch things as a ghost. I'm
Mhm.
basically doing that.
Okay. Fair enough. Eventually, sleep finds most of you. Dr. Charles, as the night wears on, you find yourself in somewhat of a state of emotional fatigue, not so much that you feel like you're tired, but actively engaging with the world around you is just draining, and you think you'll probably need to attempt something like sleep just to rest your mind, because even though our minds don't rest the same way our bodies do, our minds still need rest.
I basically just float to the top of the cargo bay and like stay there. Just like relax and just close my eyes and stop my brain from focusing on the weirdness that is my current life.
And try to dream.
Yes. The thing is, I'm lying there like, I'm not sure I want to dream because the last time it wasn't great.
My cat's
Legit.
trying to
So
steal
I'll
the dice
literally
again.
just lie there and try to relax.
I've just sent you a message, Alice.
Oh, yep. Sorry. Cat was distracting me.
All good. So I think this is a good logical point to kind of bring the session to a close. Everybody has a good night's rest and is able to wake up the next morning and regain their composure as best they can and think about what it is you're going to be doing next. So we will pick up on that.
People get to regain some
next
health.
week. Yes, that too. After having slept, everybody regains hit points equal to their level plus their con mod, I think, is how it works.
Yeah.
And it is twice as much that if you're being actively tended to by a physician at the time. Also, everybody who has any points of system strain, they go down by 1 upon properly resting.
I'll deal with that in a bit. Some outside.
Do we get any experience for finally finishing that event?
This arc was an absolute mess, but yes, you will all be gaining experience. I will be giving all of you 2,000 experience. Actually, hang on a second. This was a bit. This was a bit more rough.
Hang on,
so
I missed what you said.
Say,
I'm sorry, Rory. What happened? We lose 1 system strain.
Yeah, lose 1 system strain, regain hit points equal to your level plus your con mod, and I will be giving I'm going to give you all 3,000 experience because this was a thing. This was an honest to goodness thing, and it was very taxing for all of you. So I think it's more than fair. Okay.
Now all I need to do is finish making my panic room.
Indeed. I'm sure there'll be plenty of time.
I was hoping we'd have that little talk about the ship of Theseus, though. Damn it.
Ah, yes.
I was like, oh, I know this. I've been playing Phoenix Rising recently.
Good game.
All I have to say is,
like,
oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no.
No hard feelings, by the way, Alice. Your decision to make a deal with DOTAC did not go down well with Pim. Yes, it was like gargling glass.
So
I mean, look, Catalina did what she had to do to save her friends. That's all that mattered to her in the moment.
Yep. Wait, so you have 1 extra hit point now, Dr. Charles?
I have 16, not 15.
Not bad.
Yay! I'm slightly less squishy.
It's unfortunate.
It's like, that'd be nice if I could actually use them.
It's all good. You'll wake up in the fullness of time.
I'm not looking forward to it because at the moment my body's not feeling pain.
Yes. the perils of coming down from a full-on regalia high.
Yeah.
Yes, well, whose fault is that?
Mm-hmm. It's entirely your
DOTAC's.
fault.
Oh no.
The way Charles sees it, DOTAC is responsible for his current predicament. Because he
Okay.
took my friends, he tried to mind control them. DOTAC needs to die.
Mm-hmm.
That
Even
was
if
never in debate.
even if he's like only going to get a start on like taking out one of his like forms.
Pretty
Charles
sure
is
we just
probably
lost
going to
Rory.
enjoy it.
Lose Rory.
Pretty sure we just got back, Rory.
Welcome back.
There we go.
Oops.
What'd you do?
Okay, I'm gonna end the
I'm-
stream because I cannot contain myself anymore. Who are we raiding?
That's okay.
Okay. All right.
There's Tavern Crawler playing Echo.
Oh my god.
No, to the west playing Doom 3. And Game
Yes.
Stormers playing Valheim. I'm on mine. Unless someone else has some. I have another one.
There is a member of the Swordcraft community, somebody called Jen, who plays the guitar or ukulele and sings songs upon request. I recently learned about her
Jen,
when
one that runs the
Yes.
The mail service.
Jen
She helps
McDonald.
run the mail service.
Yeah, she does like I tuned into one of her streams after like half a dozen of my friends on Facebook went, "Hey, go and watch," and she's a very good singer. So even if we don't rate her, I'm just going to mention her because I think she's talented and deserves some attention all the same.
Straight
Oh my god, I look normal again.
You do. It's almost like you turn blue on purpose.
Okay, so who are we raiding? Make a decision. Make
Really,
a
Romney?
decision.
I don't know. Where do you think we should go? Like, Game Stormers? They're playing Valheim.
Are they going to
Biased. Mistrial.
They probably will be on for a bit longer too. Yeah.
Perfect.
Okay. Yeah, I don't mind ranking Game Stormers.
Yoki dokie.
We spent
Okay,
most
everybody.
of the game just being trashed. Yeah.
Okay, start
This
the
was
raid.
a
10
very
seconds.
interesting session, but we'll be back next week for more shenanigans with this party.
Holy
More
balls.
haunted shit.
Go. I love you guys so much.
Oh my god,
I
God,
always
God,
enjoy this session. So I will see you all next week. Fare thee well.
Yep. All right. Okay. Whew. Till beeps.